both head coaches for tonight's game, Jack Bicknell for Boston College and Pat Dye for Auburn, in their second year at the respective head schools. But for Jack at Boston College, his first bowl appearance, Pat Dye with a 1-0 record in a bowl. So BC comes into tonight's game with an overall record of 8-2-1. We mentioned some of the highlights for their season. Auburn coming into the game tonight 8-3. They did beat Alabama, so they're trying to improve on that. It's already been a successful season for the War Eagles with the win over Bama. Let's see how they do this evening against BC. Sam and Paul standing by.
Okay, we are set to go at the Tangerine Bowl. 51,000 in the house. The Boston College Eagles in white. The Tigers of Auburn in blue. Auburn will kick off. Boston College, a record of 8-2-1. Auburn, a record of 8-3. A tough loss to Georgia, and then the big upset over Alabama. A really good matchup, Paul.
Sam, I had a chance to talk to Pat Dye before the game, and he said one thing. He says his team is as healthy as it's ever been. But he's the only one that I found down there on the field that was nervous. The team looked pretty good. He said he was scared.
Both teams really had a great week. They took them everywhere. Disney World, Epcot Center, SeaWorld, wherever you could go, they went.
That will be the problem with either one of these teams, how well one fared out over the other with all the stuff that they had to do, because they really kept them on the move.
Deep men for Boston College. To the right, number 30, Ken Bell, a freshman from Greenwich, Connecticut. To the left of your screen, number 25, Howie Brown, a senior from Brooklyn, New York. Al Del Greco, number 3, a junior from Key Biscayne, Florida, to kick off for Auburn.
From the hash mark.
37th Tangerine Bowl is underway. Howie Brown on the bounce at the 2. 20. And down at the 21. Number 41 on the tackle for Auburn. And to tell you the truth, he's not listed in the program. All right. We are set to go. Boston College at the 21. And a look at the Boston College offense with Doug Flutie, the quarterback. Zadanek, Nizelek, and Shane are the wide receivers. Nizelek is the tight end.
And that 41 is Pat Thomas.
All right.
Freshman linebacker.
Flutie on first down. Starts the scramble and throws. Incomplete. Intended for Nizelek, the tight end. It was overthrown. And once again, Auburn coming out, starting with 5 defensive backs. There's Flutie at quarterback. Troy Stratford, a freshman, the leading rusher for Boston College. Bob Biestek, a junior, who just came back from injury late in the season, is the fullback. The defense for Auburn: Williams, Blackard, Autman, Thomas, and Riley. Carr, the leading tackler for Auburn, and Martin are the linebackers. 2nd and 10, Boston College. The sophomore, Doug Flutie, who passed for over 2,700 yards this season. They fake the blitz. Flutie straight back. Swings it out. Incomplete. Intended for Troy Stratford. And it's overthrown. And covering on the play, Tim Drinkard.
We talked about at the beginning of the game, Sam, the one thing that Auburn has to do is they have to put heat on Flutie. We're going to take a look at the rest of this defense, then we'll talk about it.
There are the backs: Harris, Collier, King, and Drinkard. Drinkard covering on the last play.
The thing about Flutie is that if you looked at the first play, Auburn rushed the linebackers. They had the blitz on. That time they faked the blitz. We're going to find out if the sophomore is nervous, Flutie, if they put the heat on him. That's what they're hoping he'll do and make a mistake early in the game. And that's the one thing that Auburn has to do to control this football game.
5 defensive backs in for Auburn. It's 3rd and 10 for Boston College. Opening series. Fakes the draw. Flutie over the middle. It's complete to Zadanek at the 45-yard line. Paul Zadanek, the senior from Waldwick, New Jersey, who's caught a pass in every game this season, making the reception a first down, Boston College at the 43.
Play action pass, Sam, and this is the problem. You don't put any pressure on Flutie, he's going to kill you. Watch Zadanek. He'll come across right to the outside. He's going to throw the ball from right to left. Look at how wide open Zadanek is here. No way. Drinkard's playing short, and there was just no way to cover him. Collier was the other man, the free safety, that didn't get over.
It's at the 44. 1st and 10, Boston College. Split the backs, then double wide receiver right. Brennan is wide to the left, and Flutie to put it up again, looking for Brennan. Overthrows. Might have been Phelan, number 20. They were both in the same zone. Brennan 13, and Phelan, you're looking at him now, a sophomore from Rosemont, Pennsylvania. Downfield, Mark Normandy, number 46, covering on the play for Auburn.
The man that's putting heat on him is when they sent the linebacker. Auburn sent the left linebacker, Martin, number 43, and he's causing problems. That makes Flutie throw the ball a little sooner than he wants to.
We've had 4 plays in the game, and only 26 seconds have expired. 4 passes, Flutie's 1 for 4. Second and 10. First running play, it's Troy Stratford, the freshman. Nice cut. Gets up to the 49-yard line. Picked up 5 on the play. Bob Harris, the strong safety out of Decatur, Georgia, made the tackle. But a good pickup on the play by the freshman Troy Stratford, the first freshman to ever lead Boston College in rushing. Had an outstanding season. Rushed for 630 yards and 4 touchdowns.
All right, now we got Boston College. They're going to go with 3 wide receivers, Sam.
Okay, double wide receiver left, and now Flutie calls timeout. 2 men ran off the field, and I think they were down a man. Troy Stratford ran off the field.
Exactly, they're only
and
10.
Shane ran off the field. And so Flutie alertly calls a timeout. Just over a minute gone by in the first quarter. Timeout on the field. And the score here in the Tangerine Bowl, it's Boston College nothing, Auburn nothing. Sam Rosen and Paul McGuire at the Tangerine Bowl in Orlando, Florida. Boston College opening series, opening possession. It is 3rd and 5 from their own 49-yard line. Flutie straight back to pass. Starts to run, being chased, gets away, 50, 45, and out of bounds at the 43. It's good enough for a first down, but there's a flag on the play. And we'll check it out.
That's in a defensive secondary around the 40-yard line.
This is what makes this man, Doug Flutie, so dangerous, his ability to run the football. Holding on Auburn. You saw the call. Flutie picked up enough for the first down. And we'll check it out.
Well, this is the problem. You've got to not only not give Flutie time to throw the ball, Sam, but when you're rushing him, your outside men must contain him. You can't let him get back to the outside.
There are the officials, the referee, Robin Wood. All the officials in the game are from the Atlantic Coast Conference. They take the penalty. It's 15 yards. And actually more than that. They've marked it down at the 34-yard line of Auburn. So Boston College has come from its own 21 to the Auburn 34. In motion, Phelan. Flutie to pass again. Complete to Nizelek, the tight end at the 28-yard line. They mark it at the 29. Pick up a 5 on the play. Scott Nizelek, the senior from Branford, Connecticut, the leading pass receiver on this team. Only 1 game this season in which he did not catch a pass.
You know, you talk about this multiple offense at Boston College, Sam. It is the pro offense. It's a pro set. And the way you have to key this, and Auburn obviously knows that, you've got to key through the left guard or the weak side guard. Not always the left guard, but the weak side guard, the one away from the tight end. He will tell you where the plays are going to go.
It's 2nd and 5. Flutie fakes the draw, being rushed, and down he goes. Bob Harris, the safety blitz, throws Flutie for a loss, and that's what you said, Paul. They've got to put the pressure on Flutie.
You have to come to Flutie. All right, Harris is going to come out from the left side. Now, when you see Flutie, he's got his back to him. There is just no way that he can see Harris until the last second. He has no chance. He's coming from the blind side. It's not Flutie's fault. He just didn't have enough people in the backfield to block Harris, and he made the play. But the thing is, Sam, can you afford to blitz him all night long? So you got to sacrifice something else, and that's coverage.
It is 3rd and 13. Make it 3rd and 14, the official call for Boston College at the Auburn 37. Flutie faking the draw, gives it the draw to Kristoforski. The fullback gets down to the 20-yard line. So they've been throwing the ball, and on 3rd and long, they go to the inside handoff to Kristoforski. Brian Kristoforski, the junior from Detroit. Dennis Collier made the tackle.
The best way to beat the blitz is to run a draw play, and that's exactly what they do. They come right back to the fullback, a real quick draw up the middle. Kristoforski is wide open downfield. There wasn't a man within 10 yards of him when he got the football, when he broke the line of scrimmage. And that's the only way to break a blitzing defensive football team. Run right at him.
1st and 10, Boston College at the Auburn 20. The pitch back to Troy Stratford. He's got about 3-4 yards before he swarmed under on the far side. Doug Smith, number 99. Scott Riley, number 92, all in on the tackle. It'll be second down and about 7 for Boston College at the 17-yard line. 12 minutes, 15 seconds to go in the first quarter. No score. The 37th Tangerine Bowl, Boston College in Auburn. 51,000 packing the stadium here in Orlando, Florida. Second and 7. Flutie still has the football. Flutie looking, throwing, it's complete to Kristoforski to the 5-yard line. Brought down by Greg Carr, the linebacker, but Brian Kristoforski, the junior fullback coming out of the backfield. Why does he wear number 90? He used to be a tight end, but they switched him to fullback.
Take a look at what Flutie does here. It's a fake back to the inside. He freezes the defensive end on the outside. Now you've got a linebacker, Carr, trying to cover the big fullback out of the backfield. No way to do that, not on a rollout like that situation, and that's a tough pass to throw for a right-handed quarterback running to your left.
Great drive for Boston College on the opening possession. First and goal at the 6. Fakes to Kristoforski. He gave it to Kristoforski. Stop. Dow Ottman, the nose guard, a junior, number 61, in on the stop along with Ben Thomas, number 91, on Brian Kristoforski.
This is a great play. In the pros, they ran it a lot before, not so much anymore. It's called a false trap, Sam, and what they do is they pull the weak side guard. When you do that, they hope that the weak side tackle will follow him, so, because nobody's going to block him. If he takes the fake and follows the guard, there's a hole there and the guy scores. That tackle didn't do it. Got the tackle.
Second and goal. Flutie straight back. Starts to run. Cuts inside. Touchdown, Boston College. The sophomore from Natick, Massachusetts, Doug Flutie, leads Boston College to a score on the opening possession. A 79-yard drive.
Take a look at Flutie. This is pass all the way. He goes back. Look at the offensive line, the blocking there. He has nobody open. So what's he do? The one thing that he does so very well, and that's run with the football. You see how agile he was. He ran to the right, broke it back to the left, and scores a touchdown. All right, you're going to see Flutie coming out of the backfield from ground level. Now watch the move he makes here. Once to the right, right back to the left. 2 defenders on the ground. The guy is quick.
He is a good runner. Kevin Snow, the freshman, for the extra point. And it is good. So a drive that went 4 minutes, 11 seconds, started on the 21-yard line, helped out by a 15-yard holding penalty on Auburn, ends on a 5-yard touchdown run by Doug Flutie. Timeout on the field. We'll be right back in just a moment. Sam Rosen and Paul McGuire at the Tangerine Bowl. Boston College leading Auburn 7-0 after that 79-yard drive led by the great passing of Doug Flutie. Snow kicking off. It bounces to Evans. Allen Evans at the 10, to the 20 and the 25 where he's brought down. And Auburn and its wishbone offense will go for the first time. David Thomas, number 50. Doug Geyer, number 9, made the stop on Allen Evans, a freshman from Enterprise, Alabama. Randy Campbell, the quarterback for Auburn, number 14. There you see, 14 plays, 79 yards. Doug Flutie, a 5-yard run for the Boston College touchdown. First and 10 Auburn in the wishbone. They have a fine running attack led by Lionel James, number 6, and Bo Jackson, number 34. He's stopped immediately by Junior Poles. Junior Poles, number 72, a senior from Caledonia, New York, 6'4", 281. Is he big?
Is he big? And nobody touched him. The fullback O'Neal ran right by him. You've got to block the big man at the line of scrimmage for this thing to take effect. You know, when we talk about O'Neal, we saw him down on the sideline, Sam. He is huge. Oh. He's not very tall, but he's very round.
What do they call him?
Fats Domino. He looks like Fats Domino.
It's a loss of 3 on the play. Second and 13 for Auburn. Fake to the fullback. Campbell still has it. Pitch back to Lionel James, 25, and up to the 29. Brought down by Tony Thurman, the left cornerback. A junior from Lynn, Massachusetts, taking down Lionel James, a junior. from Albany, Georgia, had an outstanding season, rushed for 779 yards, 7 touchdowns, second leading rusher. Bo Jackson, a freshman, led this team. So freshmen led both these teams in rushing this year. Stratford for Boston College and Jackson for Auburn. Ball at the 29-yard line. It's 3rd and 6. Campbell fakes to the fullback, tossing to Mike Edwards, the wide receiver at the 40-yard line. He's got a first down at the 43. George Radachowski, number 15. Vic Crawford, number 5, bringing down Mike Edwards. Good reception by Edwards.
It really is. And the one thing that the wishbone does, Sam, is it puts one-on-one coverage basically with the corner man on the split wide receiver. Now, when you get Edwards out there one-on-one with any corner man, it's very difficult, especially with all the play action in the backfield, because if the cornerback is looking in the backfield, it's going to freeze him.
1st and 10, Auburn at the 43. Campbell still got it. Going to throw deep over the middle for Chris Woods. Just too long. Tony Thurman covering on the play for Boston College. But Woods, the leading receiver, was out there. He's got good speed. He's going to be dangerous. He'll be a threat and a man to watch tonight.
He is going to be dangerous because, again, you have to mention this, Sam, is you end up with one-on-one coverage, basically, because the play action holds the safeties and holds the other corner, so there's no help downfield. Just take a look at it. Now you see Woods, he is down there one-on-one with Radachowski.
Now this is a running team, and they threw the ball on first down. Interesting how Coach Pat Dye's thinking goes. 2nd and 10, Auburn at their own 43. Boston College leading 7-0. The handoff is up the middle of Bo Jackson. And Jackson is brought down at about the, excuse me, that's Greg Pratt, number 36, the fullback. He replaced Ron O'Neal. Greg Pratt, he's 5'7", 220. Their fullbacks are short and wide.
You know, it's an interesting thing what Boston College is doing with their nose man. All right, their nose guy is Harrington, number 52. You see him right there in the middle of your screen. What he is doing, he's going on the nose of the guard. Sometimes to the strong side, sometimes to the weak side. Wherever they line him up, they're splitting him out.
3rd and a long 2 for Auburn. It's the pitch back to Lionel James. He's got the first down and more. 40, 35, and down to the 31. Great block by Ed West, the tight end, to spring Lionel James loose. Well, an outstanding run, an 18-yard pickup for Lionel James. First down.
Sam, take a look at the defensive ends. They're just frozen. They have no place to go. All of a sudden, James is to the outside. He just needs one block, and he can move it. That's West out there blocking for him. Picked up the first down. The one thing about this wishbone, you're going to freeze a lot of people. And I keep saying this, but you can see it every time that they run a play. You're holding linebackers, safeties, and defensive ends.
Double wide receivers are in there now. Edwards and Woods again throwing on first down. Swings it out to Bo Jackson. 30, 25, and down to the 20-yard line. And Auburn moving right down the field on its first possession of the game and mixing it up well.
I'll tell you, Campbell has great reflexes. A little bit like Flutie throwing the ball. Watch what he does. He's looking downfield. He sees his back going out into the backfield, Jackson. He sees he's got to turn. Now, Woods almost has a clip, but he's smart enough. You'll see Woods right there. Not to block the defensive corner. It gets Jackson to the first down. This is just a great pass. A little flip out to the outside. He just threw it out there and let Jackson go get it.
Bo Jackson, who can move, a freshman, pitch back to Bo Jackson. Hit at the line of scrimmage. Falls forward for about a yard. T.J. Fitzpatrick, a fifth-year senior. Actually, he's a graduate student. T.J. Fitzpatrick is a graduate student at Boston College. He played at Villanova. When they dropped football, he transferred to Boston College.
He's illegal.
He made the tackle. Gain of a yard for Bo Jackson, number 34, just a freshman from McCalla, Alabama, 6'1", 224, and led Auburn in rushing this season. Had a great season with 829 yards, averaged 6.5 yards per carry. 2nd and 9 for Auburn. The throw on the right side, complete to Chris Woods at the 10, and he's down to the 7-yard line. Tony Thurman brought down Chris Woods, a junior from Birmingham, Alabama, the leading receiver for Auburn.
Sam, this is a pretty pass play. The reason it's so pretty, it was a timing play. You don't see that often with wishbone teams. There's always a fake to the fullback. Campbell just took the ball and threw it where he knew Woods was going to be. The ball was in the air before Woods made his cut.
I really am marveling at the offense of Auburn. We were told this is a running football team that'll grind it out with a wishbone, and they have mixed it up beautifully on this drive. First and goal for Auburn at the 7. They trail 7-0. Campbell has the football. The pitch back to Lionel James, knocked out of bounds at the 3 by Vic Crawford. Crawford, number 5, the free safety coming over to knock out Lionel James.
Look at how long Campbell holds on to this football. Here's the key to the wishbone. From the backside is Shaw, the right defensive end, almost caught up to him. Lionel James with the ball gets buried on the sideline. But the key to that whole play is the length of time that Campbell keeps that ball.
6:33 to go in the first quarter. Boston College leading 7-0, but Auburn is right there knocking on the door as they have marched from their own 25-yard line. Campbell still has it. Campbell is brought down. Outstanding defensive play by the defensive end, number 46, Paul Shaw, a senior from Maynard, Massachusetts. 6'2", 228. You look at Jack Bicknell, the second-year head coach for Boston College. He's really done a fine job at BC. And there is Randy Campbell, the junior quarterback for Auburn. He's out of Hartselle, Alabama.
You know who really made the play? Pereira. The safety came up and took the back that Campbell wanted to throw to. I'm not taking anything away from the tackle. I'm just telling you that the back, Campbell had nothing to do with eat the football.
Double tight ends on 3rd and goal from the 6. Campbell gets to the 3. It was 3rd and goal, and Campbell was stopped at about the 3-yard line. Paul Shaw comes out from the bottom of the pile. Scott Harrington comes out. And Auburn will go for the field goal as they bring on Al Del Greco. There's Pat Dye, man in the sport jacket. Mike Mann, number 17, will hold for Al Del Greco.
I like the call. You take points when you can get it.
Del Greco has been perfect from inside 29 yards this season. This one is also good. It's a 19-yard field goal for Al Del Greco. So Auburn, marching from its own 25, got down to the Boston College 3, but they were stopped and had to settle for a field goal. Timeout on the field. 5:07 to go first quarter. We'll be right back. Boston College leading 7-3. Auburn with a drive of 76 yards. Had to be a little shorter than that, though. They didn't make it into the end zone. 12 plays, settled for the 19-yard field goal. And the Boston College defensive unit getting a little instruction. Deep men, number 25, Howie Brown. Number 30, Ken Bell for Boston College. Al Del Greco will kick off. 5:07 to go first quarter. And Boston College leading Auburn 7-3 in the Tangerine Bowl. Howie Brown at the 2-yard line. Straight up the middle. Got a little opening, got it forward to the 27-yard line. Good return by the senior from Brooklyn, New York, Howie Brown.
Sam, you know, when you see a mess like that, what happened, a kickoff return, you see out of the 22 guys that are on the field, about 14 of them in that pile. Now you know why they call it suicide squats. I'm serious. I was on them for years in the pros, and I tell you, I loved them. You got to be a little wacky to do them anyway.
Quincy Williams made the tackle on that. A sophomore from Fairhope, Alabama. As you look at the Auburn defensive unit, there's John Shane, number 85. Good receiver. Number 3 receiver on the team.
Flutie does the same thing that Campbell does. You talk about timing patterns, and they're so pretty to watch because they throw them, Sam, before the receiver makes his turn. That's why they're called a timing pattern. He knows where that man's going to be, throws the ball to a spot. He's there and makes the catch.
It's 2nd down and 1 at the 26-yard line. Flutie on the rollout. Goes over the middle, intended for Nizelek and overthrown. Dennis Collier, number 47, was down there. There's a flag on the play, and we'll check it out. We want to apologize. We had some technical difficulties. We lost the audio, but hope it didn't bother you too much. But we are back in full swing here again. Holding is the call against Boston College, and Auburn will no doubt take it on the short yardage situation, and will push Boston College back.
You know, you wonder why Boston College, 2nd and 1, runs a play like that. Now, Flutie comes out with a play-action pass. It is a great call. It's a giveaway down because you know you've got the big fullback in the backfield. You know that you can pick up a yard. You've been moving the ball very well on the team. So it is a gambling play, but one thing you don't ever want to happen on any play is the penalty. And a holding penalty, now they've got 2nd and 11 instead of 2nd and 1.
Ball back just across the 25-yard line. 2nd down, a little over 11, a little more than 11 yards to go for Boston College, leading 7-3. Flutie. Troy Stratford, the freshman, breaks into the backfield. Nice run, and he's close to a first down. Troy Stratford out of Linden, New Jersey, the leading rusher on this Boston College team, just a freshman. He goes 5'9", 175.
Well, you just take a look at what they're doing. Here's Stratford now. Everybody feels that Flutie on 2nd down at 12, 11 or 12 is going to throw the football. What's he doing? He goes back and gives it to the halfback on a little quick draw play and picks up 11 of the 12 yards. That's keeping the defense off balance, and it's great play calling by Boston College.
It's 2nd down and make it 3rd and 1. 10 yards on the pickup. Again, Stratford hits his own man, then breaks through. Nice run by Stratford. He's still battling for yardage. He's got a first down at the 44-yard line. Good run by the freshman, Troy Stratford.
He runs this way as a freshman. Can you imagine what he's going to be like as a junior and a senior? Take a look at it. He does hit his own man. He's jammed right there. Does not have the first down. Then watch what he does. He never stops his legs from moving, and he's still looking to make yards. Watch his legs. They're still going. They can't bring him down.
1st and 10, Boston College, their own 44-yard line, leading 7-3, 3:50 to go, first quarter. Flutie, straight back, and with time starts to roll now, wants the run being chased, and out of bounds he goes for safety. Doug Smith, number 99, was after him. You don't want that guy landing on you. He's 6'6", 265.
Well, the one thing that they've got to take a look at, and I think they will, is King, the left cornerback, number 27 for Auburn, is giving the wide receiver on his side of the field, on the top side, about 12 yards. And when you're doing that, your little short dink passes, your 8-yard outs are wide open. Here it is again, and we've got King out there again, and he's still anywhere from 10 to 12 yards off the receiver. Now he's moving up.
2nd and 9, Phelan in motion, number 20. Flutie straight back, deep drop, looking deep, over the middle for Shane. It's intercepted. Number 46, Mark Dormady makes the interception. Dormady to the 45 and down to the 43. Shane tried to split the 2 defensive backs, and Dormady just stepped in front, made the interception. Mark Dormady, a senior from Miami, Florida.
The defense sets this up, and I'll tell you how they do it, because Dormady is sitting back there playing center field. You see him come into the picture? They let the receiver look like it was one-on-one coverage. Dormady playing the free safety position in the nickel defense, ended up just hiding himself, disguising back to the side. Flutie never saw him. Take a look at it. You see Dormady coming in? That's a beautiful play.
Auburn on 1st and 10. It's the fullback, Ron O'Neal, carrying for a couple of yards. 7-3, Boston College leading it. First turnover of the game. And remember this, Auburn is a team that doesn't make many mistakes. They had the fewest turnovers in college football this year, 14.
And 29 takeaways, Sam, so which gives you a plus 15 in that column. And when you have that kind of a football team, look out.
On 2nd down, the handoff again is to O'Neal, the fullback. And he just gets a little bit down about the 40-yard line. It'll bring up 3rd and 6 for Auburn at the Boston College 40-yard line. Mark Dormady, who made that interception, missed about half the season with a knee injury, but comes back with making his 3rd interception of the season. Fine defensive back. Here's Randy Campbell, number 14, the quarterback.
One more talk a little bit about the first 2 plays called after this play, Sam.
Okay, 3rd and 6 for Auburn. In the wishbone, the fake to the fullback, the hand to the fullback, and down to the 35, short of a first down, I believe. This time it's Greg Pratt, number 36, carrying. Steve Diassi, number 99, made the tackle for Boston College. He's the leader on defense.
He's got a first down where they marked the ball. Surely he does. By a half a yard.
He's got it. Okay.
All right, what I was going to say about the first two plays, Sam, the thing that surprised me a little bit, after a big turnover, you think you'd jump on them right away to come out with it, maybe a play-action pass or something to catch the defense because they're coming onto the field, they're cold, you got the big turnover, you want to shake up the troops a little bit. They went to the fullback 2 times in a row, but how are you going to question it? They picked up the first down.
First and 10 inside the 34-yard line. Campbell with a pitch back to Lionel James. Makes the turn, 30. Dances forward to the 25-yard line. He stepped out of bounds. He stepped out at the 25. But Lionel James, what a shifty runner. Gives you a little hip, gives you a little leg, and dances right by you.
I was going to say that Thurman, the cornerback number 17, makes a super play here. But watch what happens. Watch James get out of it. Look at, he gets away from the blocker. Now he's got James there, but you can't hold him. You're right. So look at the dancing. Just give him another half yard on the outside, Sam, and he might have gone all the way.
They call him Little Train, and he goes to the 25. Lionel. Little Train James, 2nd and 1 Auburn at the Boston College 25. Boston College leading 7-3. 1:49 to go first quarter. Campbell to throw, looking deep. He's got his man out there. It's Edwards at the 10-yard line. Mike Edwards, number 89, covered by Radachowski for Boston College. A good reception inside the 10-yard line.
Radachowski has no chance on this play. Again, we're looking at a timing play. You're seeing Edwards. You don't see Edwards here, but he goes down. He makes a move to the inside, breaks it back to the outside. Look where the ball is thrown. Radachowski has no chance whatsoever to cover him.
I asked the Auburn people to tell me about Randy Campbell. They say, well, he can't run, he can't throw, but he gets the job done. That was a well-thrown pass.
Yes, it was. And it made it so the receiver had to come back to the ball where the defender had no chance at all.
First and goal, Auburn at the Boston College 9. Second time they've been inside the 10. The handoff to Pratt, the fullback. He gets about 2 on the play before he's stacked up. Jack Bicknell, the head coach, doing some cheerleading from the sideline. Ball spotted down at the 7-yard line.
Boy, Sam, here's a position where right now, when you're down here, and I know they like to run the football, but when you're down here, a little play action to the fullback like they run, and then just pop that big tight end West, number 85, right over the middle.
Second and goal from the 7 for Auburn. Boston College shifting in the line. Handoff is to Bo Jackson. He's hit at the 5, but falls forward to the 1. Nice balance by Bo Jackson. There you see part of the packed house here at the Tangerine Bowl in Orlando, Florida. Good football game thus far. 7-3, Boston College leading it. You look at the Auburn bench. Auburn has gotten close to the goal line twice and been unable to come across. They've gotten a field goal once and this time stopped an inch short.
Sam, I would have done the same thing Pat Dye did except for one thing. On 3rd down and on 4th down, I'd have ran a quarterback sneak because especially on 3rd down, the tackle was split out. All he had to do was tap the center and go with the ball. The other one, they were bunched up a little bit, but you only have 6 inches like you mentioned. I mean, all you got to do is just take that little lunge and get the ball across the plane of the goal line, and you got a touchdown. It's easy for us to say up here.
Yeah, right. Having a little delay because the scoreboard clock is malfunctioning, and we will be back to the action in a moment. Boston College, now they've just got to get out of this territory here. They're about on their 2-inch line here, maybe their 1-inch line. Pat Dye, man in the sport jacket, pacing the sideline. 2nd year as head coach at Auburn. What a job he's done in turning around the program.
Would you throw?
Would you throw? Would really fake them out of their boots.
I'll tell you what, with the way this young man Flutie can throw the football, I wouldn't be at all surprised. I doubt it on 1st down. You got to get a little operating room.
Boston College, interestingly enough, though they've been unable to really hold Auburn on the running plays, they've been able to stiffen up inside the 5-yard line. I don't know if that's a combination. It's got to be a combination of a good defense and a change in the play calling a little bit.
Lester picking up an audible at the line of scrimmage.
Boston College leading 7-3.
Because Radachowski just played that play so perfectly. Yeah. And again, you know, when the quarterback doesn't have a chance to get rid of that football and you cut off his trailing back, then you're really doing the job. Besides that, he makes the tackle.
Well, as we wait to get the clock back nation will take a timeout here in the Tangerine Bowl. Boston College 7, Auburn 3. We'll be right back. All right, we have gotten the clock up to 15 minutes. We are just about set to start the second quarter. Jack Belcher, number 62, leads his offensive line to the line of scrimmage. Doug Flutie, the quarterback. Boston College, third possession. A handoff is to the fullback. He gets about a yard. Doug Smith, number 99, wrestles him down. Good play by Smith, bringing down Bob Bistek. No, correction, Brian Christoforski. Bistek started. He's had some injuries all season long. Pulled muscle. And Christoforski is the man in there now. Pickup didn't get much. That ball's still sitting on the 1-yard line.
You bet. Smith, you think he's not big enough? 6'6", 265 pounds.
Pitch back to Stratford, gets out of the end zone, gets up to the 3-yard line. Flag on the play. And it's in the line, and you got to figure a little holding there.
You're going to figure a lot of holding. They were holding that man again, Smith.
There you see it. First quarter statistics, both teams with 6 first downs. Boston College 49 yards rushing, Auburn 62. Boston College 48 yards passing, Auburn 53. Flutie 4 for 8. 1 interception. Campbell 4 for 5. And rushing, Stratford 4 carries, 26 yards. James 8 carries, 36 yards.
They haven't made a decision yet, but I'll tell you what I would do. I would take the penalty. They're going to refuse it, I think, but I would. You know why I would take it? Because it would move him back another half yard. All right on the goal line again. And with that, he wouldn't have any more operating room to throw the ball. Now with the ball out at the 3 or 4 yard line, he has some operating room to go back and throw the football, even though it's third down.
All right. They decline the penalty.
That's
third
exactly
and 8, Flutie to throw, plenty of time. Fires, incomplete. Intended for Nizelek, the tight end. He was open, but the pass thrown a little too high.
That's what I was talking about, Sam, the difference. You gave him room to throw the football. Now, Nizelek was open. He just threw the ball a little too high and a little too hard. But he had all day to throw the football.
And Scott Nizelek, the tight end, is also the punter, averaging 42 yards per punt. Lionel James,
look out.
the man who does it all, is standing at the Boston College 40-yard line. So Auburn will get great field position.
They got to hold him up down here.
Defense held well. Line drive kick off the side, out of bounds. Let's see where they spot it, at the 22-yard line. Oh, Nizelek, who averages 42 yards, wound up kicking that just about 19. And Auburn will go on offense from the Boston College 22.
First of all, is the key to that 4th down situation when you run the ball. You put him in the hole like that. Anything, a turnover or something, get the ball back. That didn't happen. They had to punt the ball, but a mistake. They would have had good field position with James back there anyway.
That's what you said about going for it, the decision to go for it on 4th down. Now it's 1st and 10 for Auburn.
Lionel James.
Campbell is the quarterback. The fullback is Ron O'Neal. Campbell still got it. Pitch back to Bo Jackson. Makes the turn. 15, 10, and down at the 8-yard line. Vic Crawford, number 5, bringing down Bo Jackson. What a run. 14 yards.
Watch the block of Lionel James, number 6. Sam, it's absolutely beautiful. You're going to see him out front. Take a look at number 6. Watch this block. Up in the air, the guy goes on the ground. You gotta love it. When a guy blocks like that, you gotta give him the football.
Before the game, we were talking to the Auburn people. Said, what about James? They said he's also a leading blocker. There's O'Neal, the fullback, battles his way to the 4-yard line.
Boy, is he a load.
Wow. Look at him. He is 5'9", 240, maybe 245. Might have lost a pound or two this week. I don't know.
Has never in his life missed a meal. Not one. And he's a good football player.
Auburn is right back there knocking on the door. 3rd time they've had the ball. 3rd time they've been inside the 5-yard line. But Auburn is trailing 7-3. 13 minutes to go in the first half. 2nd and goal at the 4-yard line. Campbell, the quarterback, handing to the fullback. And O'Neal gets to about the 2-yard line. Ron O'Neal is a 5'9", 240-pound sophomore from Atlanta, Georgia.
The lineup that Boston College has on the goal line defense, I can't believe that they're not running a quarterback sneak with Campbell keeping the football because the two tackles are split out. Now, whether they're going to do it in the short yardage here, Sam Wade's down short, I don't know. But if you take a look at the two tackles, you take a look at Harrington and Poles, they're split out. It's still there.
Yeah, ball is at the 1-yard line on 3rd and goal. Let's see what Campbell does. He's got it. He hands to the fullback. He's short of the goal line.
Here we go again, another 1-inch play.
Ron O'Neill carried again. This time he comes up short. Over the top, Doug Geyer. No, that's Steve Diassi, number 99.
What the defensive lineman did is they just buried the offensive lineman, and that's the job that you want them to do. Then you want, that was Ruth that went underneath. Here's the ball again, and you want your linebackers to come up over the top, exactly what they did.
This is a virtual replay of the last time they had the ball. It's 4th and goal for Auburn. They have not been able to penetrate the goal line. Touchdown, Bo Jackson. This time he just went too high.
Too high and too fast. Bo Jackson, take a look at it. Watch it. You see the defensive line bury themselves. Now the linebackers couldn't get in. The guy that makes this whole play is number 85, West, because he drove the linebacker down the line of scrimmage and never let him get up in the air. Jackson does a great job here, and West does an excellent job, the tight end. He's the guy that got Fitzpatrick out of the hole. Jackson over the top. Lionel James getting a block. They run well.
Al Del Greco for the extra point. And Auburn has the lead for the first time in the game with 11 minutes and 34 seconds to go in the first half. Auburn, 5 plays, 22 yards, gets into the end zone. And the score here in the Tangerine Bowl, the Tigers of Auburn 10. The Eagles of Boston College 7. We'll be back in just a moment. Auburn set to kick off, leading 10-7. Dave Blanks, number 4, will kick it off. Deep for Boston College, number 25, Howie Brown, number 30, Ken Bell. Dave Blanks lets it go. Kick coming to Brown at the 5-yard line. Heads for the middle, looks for an opening, and gets to the 29-yard line. Good run back by Howie Brown, 5'9" senior from Brooklyn, New York. Tackle on the play by number 45, Jimmy Warren, defensive back.
You're home, huh? Brooklyn, New York.
My home territory.
All right.
Boston College trailing 10-7. Doug Flutie, number 22, the quarterback. In at fullback, number 40, Bob Bistek. Tailback in the I formation, Troy Stratford, number 23. Flutie, 4 for 8 in passing, hands to Stratford. He's got room, 35. And to the 38-yard line, Dennis Collier, number 47. The free safety, a senior from Sheffield, Alabama, brought down Troy Stratford. This kid can run. Good running back from Linden, New Jersey.
Yeah, he can run. I'm not taking that away from him, but I'll tell you something. That offensive line can also block.
That's a big offensive line. Belcher, the center, 258. Reagan, 260, and Lively, 276, the guards. McDonald, 249, one tackle. Kowalski, 247, the other tackle. Stratford carries again. Ben Thomas makes the stop up around the 40-yard line. That's good size on that offensive line for Boston College.
It really is. At that time, you saw the fine running of Stratford because he got the first down on his own. Thomas had him in the backfield, and he just dragged Thomas another 2 yards.
Had a look at the Auburn scoring drive. Bo Jackson taking it over the top for the touchdown. Ball is just across the 39-yard line. Boston College 1st and 10. Flutie, the sophomore from Natick, Massachusetts. Good runner, good passer. Wing formation, Stratford on the wing to the left. Flutie straight back. Steps up and fires. It's complete to Brennan. Brian Brennan, a junior from Bloomfield, Michigan, number 13. Brought down across the 45-yard line by Chris Martin, senior linebacker, number 43. Brian Brennan, who during the 4th game of the season broke a collarbone against Temple, was the number 1 receiver for Boston College at that time, and came back at the end of the year. Ball up the 46-yard line. 2nd and a long 3. Lone setback is Bistek, the fullback. Long count for Flutie. Rushes on, throws the ball, got rid of it. Big rush. Number 95, Gerald Robinson, with a big rush on Doug Flutie.
Robinson and Thomas. They just got by the offensive lineman.
Here's Ben Thomas, a sophomore from Ashburn, Georgia. 6'4", 267. Boy, they grow big.
Oh, yeah, they do. You know, it's amazing. When you watch defensive linemen, too, like a team like Auburn loves to play against a team like this because they know that most of the time, 65% of the time they're going to throw so that the lineman can just tee off and go.
Boston College on third. And a little over 3 yards. Flutie straight back, rushes on, gets rid of it, screen to Stratford. Cuts inside. 2 men missed him. First down. What a run by Stratford. Chris Martin finally got him. Doug Smith almost had him. He slipped Smith, slipped another man, got the first down, finally went down.
Again, watch Stratford's feet. Now, this is a screen to the outside. All right, the blockers never got out there, but watch his feet. There's a move there, a move back to his left, now back to his right again, and picks up the first down. That's just excellent running.
Wallace at the Auburn 48-yard line. First and 10 for Boston College. Flutie on first down, looking over the middle, firing, and it is complete to Brennan at the 30, and he's down to the 26-yard line. Ryan Brennan, the junior from Bloomfield, Michigan, wide open on the play.
You don't think Flutie's got a strong arm? Take a look at this wounded duck going down through. This ball is either hit or his arm is hit because when you see this ball come down through the middle, watch what happens to it. It's tipped at the line of scrimmage by Ottman, and Brennan is right there to catch the ball. That's strength in a passer, my friend.
First and 10, Boston College at the Auburn 26-yard line. Once again, the Eagles on the move, and Flutie going back to throw with time. It's incomplete. Intended for number 82, Rich Shrigley, a senior from Nashua, New Hampshire. Shrigley's a good receiver, caught 17 passes, averaged close to 16 yards per catch this season.
Do they have anybody that isn't a good receiver on this team? Of course, this young man, Flutie, can throw the football.
Does he like to throw it?
Flutie's getting just a little bit concerned because what Auburn is doing is they're shifting back into their defense, Sam, after the plays are called. And after he gets into his cadence count, then they're moving back. That's why Dormady got that interception. They're disguising the defenses very well.
Second and 10. Shane is wide to the right side. Shrigley's a tight right end. Flutie 7 for 13, 73 yards. Draw play, Stratford, nothing there. Good defense by Auburn. This time they were ready for the draw. It's worked twice previously. This time they were ready for it. Ronnie Ballou, number 97, made the stop. He's a senior from Atala, Alabama.
Got an injury on one of the Auburn players.
8:30 to go, first half. Auburn leading 10-7. Boston College took the opening kickoff, marched down 79 yards, and went in for a score on a 5-yard run by Doug Flutie. Auburn came right back with a fine drive of their own to the Boston College 3. It stalled, and they settled for a 19-yard field goal. A field goal by Al Del Greco. Next time Boston College had the ball, they lost it on an interception. Auburn drove inside the 1, were stopped on a 4th and 1. That's Doug Smith, number 99, the big defensive tackle from Bayboro, North Carolina, who is injured on the play.
Are you ready for this? They're putting in a freshman, Gerald Wilson, number 98, Gerald Williams, number 98, 6'4", 269. Well, I hate to be near this training table. I hate to cook for these guys.
Smith shaken up on the play. He's a junior. All SEC tackle. Good player.
All right, we got a freshman in the game now. Williams, will they go after him and take a look at him? But not 3rd and 10. No, they got to throw the ball.
Shane is wide to the right side. Shrigley is a tight right end. Stratford and Bistek in the backfield. Flutie straight back to pass. Looking over the middle. Down to the right side. Deep for Shrigley. Around for Shane. It's incomplete. Dennis Collier, number 47, covering John Shane on the play, number 85. Shane was there, and the ball was there.
The guy that makes the mistake is King, number 27, the left cornerback. He's playing short and long on Shane on this thing here, and he misjudges the ball. Watch in front of Shane. You're going to see 27. You see where he was? He's the guy that let the ball get through. They really didn't have him covered. The ball hit Shane in the hands. He dropped the football.
Field goal try. John Lockery, number 7, will hold. This is a 43-yard try. Kevin Snow has never gone longer than 41 yards, and this one is no good. It hit the crossbar. Kevin Snow, 11 for 16 this season, but his longest only 41 yards. Couldn't make it. He needed 43 yards, and he came up short.
This may be close to his long, but it also was his highest. Take a look at the height of this ball. You lose it in the camera, and when it comes down, it's going to hit the goalpost. He just had too much height on the ball. Watch this. Right off the front of the goalpost. Think.
And the wind had to hold that up a little bit because of the height, I would think, Paul.
Oh, yeah, he had to get it just a little bit lower. See the height that went out of the camera range.
8:09 to go first half. Auburn 10, Boston College 7. Back with more of the Tangerine Bowl in a moment. Sam Rosen and Paul McGuire at the Tangerine Bowl in Orlando, Florida. Hope you're enjoying it because we've got a bowl bonanza upcoming for you. It continues Christmas night with the Aloha Bowl, Maryland against Washington. December 29th, the Liberty Bowl, the Hall of Fame Bowl, Bluebonnet Bowl, Rose Bowl, Senior Bowl. We've got it all for you. And Auburn, 1st and 10 on their own 26-yard line. The handoff is to the fullback. Greg Pratt carrying on the play across the 30 to the 32. Pratt is 5'7", 220, a sophomore. Boy, their fullbacks are different size.
They go to the little people. But they go to the little wider ones. I'll tell you, we talked about at the beginning, Sam, power offense, just power football, and it wears you down. It takes its toll on the defensive line.
Ball at the 32, 2nd down 4. Campbell still has it, pitch back to Lionel James, breaks the tackle, and finally is knocked down at the 35-yard line. Good hit by Steve DiAsi, number 99, the leading tackler. Steve DiAsi, an outstanding linebacker.
Steve DiBiase is an outstanding linebacker. Just take a look at this guy. He's going to have to get away from the offensive tackle. He does that. Almost a clip. Watch him keep his balance. Now he'll come back up on his feet. That's why they do these roll drills. And then Lionel runs right back into him.
That's outstanding athletic ability. Ball is at the 35-yard line. It's 3rd and about 1.5 yards for Auburn. Campbell on the pitch back. Walker, Terry Walker, number 8, gets the first down. Crawford hit him, number 5, and finally is brought down with the help of Russ Joyner, number 88. But Terry Walker, number 8, a sophomore, 6 feet, 203 pounds, picks up the first down.
Getting taller. They're getting taller. I just can't believe that Campbell keeps that ball that long. But when you run these plays over and over and over and over and over and over again, and the guys get tired in practice, they wonder why. This is where it pays off. You get yourself to a bowl game, number 1, and knowing where your people are going to be, you can throw the ball blind.
Clayton Buford is wide to the right side. Chris Woods wide to the left side. Campbell wants to throw, swings it out to Terry Walker, and he's brought down by DiAsi. Good play by Steve DiAsi, number 99.
Say, the linebacker, DiAsi, just played that play so well. He saw Walker, the back, coming out of the backfield, and Campbell just made the wrong selection. He threw to the guy that had 2 people on him. It happened to be a back. DiAsi was one of them. If he'd have looked downfield, he would have had a wide receiver open. Now's when you come back to the guy like Edwards. Or Woods. It's Woods.
Tom Carroll, number 84 in the lineup, is wide to the left. Woods is wide to the right. It's 2nd and long. The pitch back is to Allen Evans, and Evans is across the 40 to the 36-yard line. Allen Evans, the freshman from Enterprise, Alabama.
Like I said, Sam, you go to the pass because here they go to that toss again. Now he fake to the fullback up the middle. Take a look at Evans. There's the Aussie, number 899, trying to catch him. Forget that. This young man comes into the game, stays on his feet, picks up another 5 yards. That's just excellent execution of a play.
This is a good talent, Allen Evans. They say he was recruited more highly than Bo Jackson, who's the leading rusher on this team. 1st and 10 Auburn at the 37. Campbell putting it up deep down the left side for Buford. He's got it at the 5. He's down at the 1. They'll mark it at the 3-yard line, I believe. Clayton
what he did here was he turned to look for the football. And when he did that, Buford was there to get it. You see where he turned? He turned to the inside instead of turning back to the outside to where the receiver was. When he looked at the ball, he took himself away from the receiver, and there's the reception. Just a beautiful pass play.
Campbell 6 for 7, 85 yards. First and goal, the pitch back, touchdown! Willie Howell, a senior from Thomaston, Georgia, and Auburn with a beautiful drive. The running of Allen Evans, the pass to Buford, and Willie Howell takes it over. Pat Dye using a lot of people.
He's already used, I think, 9 backs so far. Here's Howell. It's just a quick toss to the outside. They were down there. This is the 3rd time down in this situation, 4th time down in this situation. Sam, they tried the middle. They said, forget that. Let's go with a toss. They throw the ball to Howell. He gets a great block by Pratt going up into the hole. Touchdown.
The extra point by Al Del Greco is good. 4 minutes, 49 seconds to go in the first half. And Auburn, which trailed originally 7-0, has come back, and with 4:49 to go in a half, leading the Tangerine Bowl 17-7. We'll be right back. ESPN, the place to be for NBA action, and on Sunday, December 19th, we'll have a live doubleheader for you. Detroit at Boston, followed by Dallas at Los Angeles. It all begins at 7:20 p.m. Eastern Time with Greg Gumbel and John Andres and the NBA Tonight. Don't miss it. NBA action on ESPN. Blanks the kickoff. It's deep to Brown. 2 yards in the end zone. And
he stepped out. He stepped out.
Yes, he did. He was stopped by Bell. Let's see, did he?
He sure did, and the referee didn't call it. His right foot stepped on that line, and he's in the playing field, my friend.
Well, they have ruled it a touchback. They will bring it to the 20. He almost, if he didn't step out, he came very close to it.
As soon as he took a knee in college football, once your knee hits, you're down. It would have been a safety. It should have been a safety.
They spotted at the 20-yard line. Auburn, a 74-yard drive, 7 plays, 4 minutes, 49 seconds time of possession. And Willie Howell with his first touchdown of his college career in only his 4th carry ever.
And he's also caught 1 pass.
17-7. Auburn leading it. 4:49 to go in the first half. Flutie still has it on the rollout. Has room, but throws over the middle, incomplete. Nizelek, the tight end, turned his head just before he caught it. Oh, I like that hairstyle.
I can see his mother now. There's my son, the wacko. That's like, you're absolutely right, Sam. He just tried to run with the football before he got it. He's a better receiver than that. And what happens when you do that? They take you out of the game.
There you see the scoring drive once again. 4:43 to go in the first half, and Boston College, which led after the opening possession 7-0, marching in for the touchdown, now has to come from behind. Straight back is Flutie. To the left side, complete to Brian Brennan at the 33. He's down the sideline. 40, cuts to the inside, picks up a blocker. 30, he could go all the way. He's tripped up at the 21-yard line. A touchdown-saving tackle by number 27. Number 47, Dennis Collier, at the 22-yard line. What a play by Brian Brennan.
I was saying that Auburn's given too much room to the outside. Look at the room that Brennan has out here. Now he gets by the defender. That's Druckert on the outside. But watch what Collier does. He's blocked. He's going to cut off the path to the end zone. He's going to get blocked right there by Strigley, and then makes the play. That's outstanding defense, but what a great run and a great pass route.
58-yard play for Boston College. 1st and 10 at the Auburn 22. Stratford in motion. Flutie still has it. Throwing over the middle. It's incomplete. Intended for Strigley. He was hit hard. He had his hands on it, but he was hit by Johnny Cheeks, number 24. And there is Mark Dormany, the senior, also in on the play. I mentioned him before. We'll talk. Here's that play again.
All right, you're going to see Strigley get the ball, but Zdenek is in the end zone by himself, and I know he came back and told Flutie. Here it is to Strigley. Take a look at the shot he takes right there. There's just no way you're going to hold on to the football. But down behind all of this was Zdenek, all by himself.
Dormany made the hit. Flutie 8 for 17, 130 yards. 2nd and 10 at the Auburn 22-yard line.
Fakes the draw. Looking deep. Plenty of time. Has to run. In trouble. Watch out. Now he gets rid of it. It's complete. At the 18-yard line to Phelan, I believe. No, that's Brian Kristoforski, the fullback, the safety valve man, and he really saved Flutie that time. There's Jack Bicknell with the signals calling the plays from the sideline.
You know, we talked about Flutie. What you got to do is not only do we got to get to him, but you got to tackle him when you get to him. And he had 4 guys running around, and they didn't know which way to turn. Flutie just turned around, got himself to the sidelines, and found Kristoforski open, picked up about 4 yards on the play.
It was almost a 20-yard loss, turned out a 4-yard gain. 3rd and 6, 3:51 to go first half. Flutie into the end zone, incomplete. Intended for Paul Zadanek, number 42. Zadanek, a senior from Waldwick, New Jersey, was out there, had 33 receptions this year for 567 yards. That pass incomplete, and Boston College will attempt another field goal try. And Kevin Snow, who missed from 43 yards out last time, this time will be shorter with John Lockery, number 7, holding. This try will be 35 yards.
Now he can have all the height he wants.
Snow gets it away. Good kick. That one he should have hit before. That one had the distance. This one is good, and it is a 35-yard field goal for Kevin Snow with 3:41 to go in the first half. Auburn's lead is cut to 17-10. So the good drive for Boston College winds up on the field goal by Kevin Snow. Upcoming on ESPN, college basketball. The greatest college basketball schedule ever continues on Monday, December 20th with a doubleheader. We open up with Marquette at Minnesota, 8 o'clock Eastern time, followed by UCLA hosting LSU live. And UCLA, of course, one of the top teams in the country. You won't want to miss college basketball on ESPN Monday night. Marquette at Minnesota, LSU at UCLA.
Sam, we've got 3:41 remaining in the second quarter. Auburn has 2 timeouts, but the way these guys are moving up and down the field, and remember that the clock, let me remind you, it's one of the rules, the clock does stop after every first down, just to move the chains and get everything moved on. So it gives you, I would say, an average of maybe 12 to 15 more plays a ball game because of that. So you can save time, call 3 or 4 plays in the huddle. But they've got plenty of time, 3:41 to move the ball, and both teams are moving very well. There's going to be some defensive changes, I can guarantee, at halftime by both of these teams.
Kevin Snow kicks off. The kick coming up to Terry Walker, and he takes it away from Lionel James. No, he gives it to James, and James returns to the 19-yard line. Doug Geyer, number 9, with a good hit on Lionel James. Walker and James coming together, and then Walker deferring to James. There's Terry Walker. He originally was calling for it and then let Lionel James have it.
Lionel James, when he sees this in the films, if they get a chance to see these films the beginning of the week, when he sees it, he's going to see an opening. If he would just stay to his left a little bit, the alley was there. All he had to do was stay in it.
Auburn 1st and 10 at their own 19, 3:35 to go first half. Auburn leading 17-10, 37th Tangerine Bowl. The fullback, Ron O'Neal, carries to about the 24-yard line. Picked up about 5 on the play. Ron O'Neal, the sophomore from Atlanta, Georgia. Steve Diassi, number 99, in on the tackle. He's in on just about every tackle.
Yes, he is. You know, let's talk just a second, Sam, again about no turnovers. When you mention it, it's going to happen. We know that all the time. But only 14 the entire season for this team, and it's amazing because you're feeding the fullback almost every play.
It's one of the reasons they played Georgia so well, so tough. The handoff inside to Greg Pratt, the number 2 fullback, and he bowls his way up to the 28-yard line, and not literally bowls his way. These guys are bowling balls, Pratt and O'Neal. They both go 220. Pratt's 220, 225. O'Neal's about 240, and they both 5'7", 5'8", 5'9", around there.
Now they got 2 yards to go. Do you go that little quick toss again, or you go right back up the middle?
Well, they list the scoring drive at 80 yards, but of course that includes the field goal. The drive stalling inside the 20-yard line. Handoff inside on 3rd and short. It's Pratt, the fullback, and he looks like he's picked up the first down. Got across the 29-yard line. Needed to get to the 29.
He's going to have the first down by about half the football.
I think the officials want to bring it in to make sure. We have 2:20 to go in the first half. A look at Randy Campbell, the junior quarterback from Hartselle, Alabama. Really had a good year. Passing percentage of better than 51%. As Auburn went 8-3. Did you call that?
Half the football.
You got it.
What great eyes, Sam. Especially the blue one.
Campbell, who hit 81 for 158 this season, had only 2 interceptions, and that is the fewest interceptions ever in the SEC. They had the lowest interception percentage.
All right, now they're going with 2 wide receivers. They've got Edwards and Woods in the game.
1st and 10 at the 29. 2 minutes to go in the first half. Auburn leading 17-10. Campbell a throw. Looking deep. Throws over the middle. Wide open is Mike Edwards. 50 to the 46. Did his knee touch? Yes. Vic Crawford, number 5, tripped up Mike Edwards. The senior, who's 6'4", 195.
Which is so unbelievable about this is you only have 2 wide receivers out in a pattern. Just take a look at Edwards. Look how wide open he is coming behind the linebackers in front of the safety men. There's nobody around Edwards. He's surprised. He's looking to be hit by somebody. Now watch, you'll see his knee go down right there, and he stopped. Whoops. Where you learn that?
25-yard pickup for Auburn. 1st and 10 at the Boston College 46. Campbell straight back. Throws over the middle, complete to Chris Woods. Gets away. He could go. 25, 20, cuts back, and he's down at the 6-yard line. Chris Woods brought down by Steve Diassi, who got him from behind, but Woods was wide open on that play.
Does he put a move on Perea? I'll tell you right now. Watch the move that he makes. Woods, after he catches the ball, a little dink to the inside, back to the outside, and now he's off and running. He's trying to get some help downfield. That's just an excellent run. Talking about running with the football. They got 1 minute and 10 and counting.
Wow.
2 timeouts.
In no time, Auburn has moved down inside the 10. This is Lionel James. He's tripped up at the 7-yard line. Tony Thurman, number 17, the left cornerback, making the tackle as Auburn, coming from its own 19-yard line, calls timeout. Randy Campbell, 7 for 8, 141 yards. This is a running football team that's passed for 141 yards in the first half.
Not when you have the defense, Sam, giving that much of a cushion. The corners are staying so far off these guys, and the linebackers are freezing the linebackers with the play action stuff into the fullback, into the halfback. And when you look at a team like Auburn, you commend Boston College and you say, well, okay, what do we have to do? We have to stop them running, because that's what they do so well. So when you concentrate so much on the run, you get a little lax in the defensive secondary. And the way Edwards and Woods are catching the football, you better put some double coverage on these guys.
Pat Dye, who starred in collegiate football at Georgia, first coaching job was under Bear Bryant at Alabama. He learned his lessons well. College basketball on ESPN. North Carolina State goes against Louisville live Tuesday, December 21st, 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 Pacific from Freedom Hall in Louisville, Kentucky. Fred White and Dick Vitale will be there to bring you all the action. North Carolina State, led by my man Jimmy Valvano. And if he doesn't know his hoop, who does?
Who does? You talk about Pat Dye. I know he went to Georgia. We played them when I was at the Citadel.
Yeah.
76-0 they beat us. Fran Tarkenton was a quarter. His brother also played on the team.
2nd and goal from the 7-yard line for Auburn, leading 17-10, 53 seconds to go in the half. Campbell still has it. Crosses, nice catch by Jackson. 5-yard line, touchdown. What a play. Bo Jackson. You believe that play? What a one-handed catch by Jackson on that looping pitchback.
Did you do a basketball promo just now? Watch this jump shot. You want to see a jump shot? Two-handed jump shot. Little flip. There's Jackson. One-handed catch. And I'll say goodbye to everybody else. There's a great jump shot. I think Campbell, does he play on a basketball team? He should. They're going to put him on the basketball team as a guard.
Al Del Greco for the extra point. What a first half for Auburn. And what a march. 81 yards in a hurry. in less than 2 minutes. High snap. This is Mike Mann, number 17, looking to throw into the end zone. Knockdown, incomplete. The extra point is no good. Todd Russell, number 45, broke it up. So 46 seconds remaining in the first half, and Auburn leading it 23-10.
I got to say this again. This is a great jump shot right here. Take a look at it. Little left-handed flip. Hello? Jackson, look at this catch. One-handed, brings the ball in. Now he has the presence of mind to switch the ball away from the defender, Sam. Gets rid of the guy and scores a touchdown.
Two things. One, the first thing, did you see him look that ball right into his hand? Never took his eye off it, got control of it, and then what you said, switched hands, went into the end zone, beat Crawford on the play. Crawford had a good shot at him, beat him on the play, and went over to the CD.
You know, that's the thing of concentration, total concentration on the ball, and then have presence of mind to move that ball from one hand to the other. That's the amazing part of that whole run.
7-yard touchdown run for Bo Jackson. 81 yards in 8 plays in less than 3 minutes for Auburn, and they lead it 23-10.
All right, now Flutie's got 46 seconds to go with his Boston College team. 2 timeouts. I love this game. They're just going up and down the field.
Blanks kicks off. Bo Jackson now has 11 touchdowns on the season. This is Brown, Howie Brown, across the 25 and up to the 29-yard line. The senior brought down by Pat Thomas once again. Good special teams player, a freshman. Number 41 making the stop. 41 seconds left. And let's see what Boston College will do, whether they will go for the quick score. Bo Jackson, 10 carries, 32 yards in the first half, but he comes up with a couple of touchdowns. Won the alley-oop over the top, and this one the 7-yard run. Flutie takes it straight back. Fakes the swing, now goes to the left side to Bistek, the fullback. He's hit and brought down immediately. Thrown for a loss. Vernon Blockard, number 90, senior defensive tackle from Gainesville, Texas, makes the stop on Bob Bistek. Boston College calls timeout with 31 seconds to go. Good football game. Tangerine Bowl has really picked up last couple of years, Paul.
Yeah, it certainly has. You take a look at this crowd, and the support from the people down here is just phenomenal. I mean, they really go out. They've treated these two teams so well. Again, these two teams, they were on the move the whole week. You know, it's very tough to concentrate on football. But once the kickoff comes, you forget everything else that happened, and you know you've got a job to do, and you got to do what the game plan is. And Boston College's game plan is throw the football. Auburn's obviously is to run the football.
As I said, the best college basketball schedule ever is on ESPN, and we continue Wednesday, December 22nd with a doubleheader. We open up live with DePaul at Purdue and follow that up at 10 o'clock Eastern Time with Minnesota at Jacksonville. College basketball on your Total Sports Network, the best college basketball schedule ever.
Live.
2nd and 11, and we're live. And Flutie is throwing, and he's live deep down the left side for Stratford. It's intercepted. What a catch. What an interception by Tim Drinkard, the right quarterback. These guys got good hands.
Oh, you know, this is a play where it's going to be intercepted, knocked down, or the touchdown. That seems like there's a lot of variables in there. But Drinkard almost misjudged this ball. Looks like he's got stickum on his hands. Watch what Drinkard does. Bang. He just snatches the ball out of the air. And Stratford, if it doesn't right here, it's got a touchdown because he's in full stride. There is nobody back there. And what a great catch by Drinkard. You talk about playing the ball at the height of the interception, and that's what you have to do. He waited to the last second, almost misjudged it.
A senior from Linden, Alabama, a walk-on. Tim Drinkard making the interception. 24 seconds to go in the half, and Campbell puts it up. And it's intercepted by Fitzpatrick. For Boston College, T.J. Fitzpatrick takes it right back, and there is the first turnover of the game for Auburn with 16 seconds to go. So actually on the turnover, Boston College with a big pickup in yardage.
Fitzpatrick gets it. He was trying to hit Edwards coming over the middle, but the big linebacker got back in the backfield. Edwards comes back and makes a tackle. But Fitzpatrick, you talk, guys got great hands. It's a little snippy here. It's on, what, 45 to 50 degrees down here. It's a little chilly. But you would never know it with these guys. It's beautiful playing weather on the field.
Only the third time this season that Randy Campbell has been intercepted. There's timeout on the field. 16 seconds to go in the first half. Auburn leading 23-10. But the ball is inside the Auburn 43-yard line, so there is time as Doug Flutie is over at the bench talking with Jack Bicknell. Bicknell, who played his college ball, started at Rutgers, then was injured, wound up his college career at Monmouth.
Tell you one guy that's going to be playing center field, and that's Dormady, number 46. Right now, the ball is on the 42-yard line. Let's put it there. Dormady is already sitting back on the 25. He's waiting.
We talked about Dormady. Auburn has 2 interceptions, one by Dormady and the other one made by Drinkard. Dormady had 5 knee operations in his career. I mean, you have to have some guts to keep coming back from knee operations like that.
Or a lot of knees. There's only cartilages on either side, you know.
Flutie 10 for 21, 134 yards. He's been intercepted twice. Ball inside the 43, 16 seconds to go in the first half. 5 defensive backs in for Auburn. Flutie steps up,
run.
and here he goes. 40, 35, out of bounds at the 29-yard line with 10 seconds on the clock.
Well, they're getting themselves in field goal range, Sam.
Well, Snow hit the last one from 35 yards out, but had plenty of extra on it. After missing one from 43, the ball's to 29. Boston College has no timeouts remaining in this half.
Well, and the other thing is that Auburn will let him go ahead and do that because they only had a 4-man rush that time. You let Flutie run the ball because you're going to run the clock down. Now he can't afford to do that again.
It's 1st and 10 at the 29. Flutie straight back, sends 4 receivers deep. Being rushed, gets away.
Watch out the backside.
And down he goes. And the loose football. And recovered by Auburn, number 54, Greg Carr. But the first half has come to an end. Greg Carr, number 54, Jeff Jackson, number 42, in on the play. The end of the first half of the Tangerine Bowl. The score, Auburn 23, Boston College 10. You're watching the Tangerine Bowl on ESPN.
Well, we're just a couple of minutes away from the second half kickoff. Let's look at the first half statistics. It's certainly dominated by Auburn. Had a couple of more first downs, passing yardage almost identical. BC 143, Auburn 146. Rushing yardage, a big difference. As you can see right there, Auburn rushed for 145 yards, Boston College 74. Auburn the edge in total yardage. Pass plays now. Flutie for BC went 10 of 22 for 143 yards. Campbell for Auburn completed 8 of 10 passes for 146. Campbell throwing perhaps a little bit more than what was anticipated, but as Sam and Paul have pointed out in the telecast this evening, Auburn has mixed up its offense very well and very effectively. As you can see, rushing attempts in the contest, Boston College has rushed 17 times for 74 yards. Auburn 31 times for 140 yards, and the average yardage per carry pretty much the same, 4.3 versus 4.6. We've had an exciting first half, and I think you're going to see much more in the second half as the Tangerine Bowl continues as part of our day-night doubleheader here on ESPN. 23-10, Auburn leads BC at intermission. Back to the Tangerine Bowl, Sam Rosen, Paul McGuire.
Sam Rosen and Paul McGuire at the Tangerine Bowl. We are set to go second half. Boston College kicking off, Auburn leading 23-10. Lionel James, the deep man at the goal line. The up men at the 10, Terry Walker, number 8. Allen Evans, number 33. Kevin Snow kicks off. It's Evans off his hands, fumble the ball, rolls down at the 1. Lionel James picks it up at the 10 and brought down at the 14-yard line. Good tackle in there by number 95. Doug Geyer was in there, number 9. He's in on the stop. Also in there for Boston College, number 95, Chuck Gorecki. Ball just short of the 15-yard line as Auburn goes on offense. And as Paul mentioned, Boston College has been a good come-from-behind team, a good second-half team. In fact, 7 of their 8 wins have been come from behind. So we will see if they are able to come from behind, able to stop Auburn in the second half. Randy Campbell, number 14, the quarterback. Fakes to the fullback, hands off to Boach to Lionel James, who breaks out to the 24. Very close to a first down. Dave Pereira, number 41, a sophomore strong safety. He's from East Providence, Rhode Island, made the stop. And they're going to measure, but it looks like he's got a first down on that first carry.
He's got it. He's got to touch the ball at the 25, and that's what the ball is doing, touching the 25. So it was a first down right off the bat. Lionel James, this young man is very, very impressive. What a future in college football he has got.
He led the nation in punt returning. Not only is he an outstanding runner, he's got 50 yards already in 7 carries, but he's a great blocker.
Oh, yeah, and he's
really
a little bitty guy.
Half.
170 pounds. Isn't that nice?
1st and 10. Campbell on the pitch to James, and Tony Thurman has got him. Good play by Tony Thurman. Was not faked out on that option play at all, and throws Lionel James for a 2-yard loss. A minute gone by in the second half.
Sam, let me just say something here. When you see the cornerback, Thurman, that far in the backfield making the tackle, look out for the wide receivers. And the man I'm talking about is Mr. Edwards, number 89, because when you're playing that tight, you've got to give something away, and that's the passing game.
And Edwards is wide to the right side. Campbell looking. It's complete to the tight end, Ed West. And West has got a first down at the 37-yard line. Ed West, a junior from Layton, Alabama, making the reception, his first of the game. George Radachowski took him down.
Well, see, they put Edwards on this side and split him out. Okay, that time they had Thurman watching him. Now the other cornerback on the other side, Radachowski is waiting, not staying with the tight end, playing up close. He just got to the outside and made the reception for the first down.
1st and 10, spotted at the 36. Campbell's going to throw deep for Chris Woods. He's there. It's just a little too far. And a pass interference on Tony Thurman. Tripped him up. Woods, with the post pattern, was open. And once again, Auburn going to the air right away. There's Chris Woods.
The thing that makes this, and Thurman didn't do it intentionally. His legs get caught up in it, and Woods is out there. Woods is, if he doesn't trip him, he's going to have himself a touchdown. You're going to see it now. I don't know if you're going to be able to see Thurman's tripping his legs right there, but it's not intentional. He just catches his back foot. It's unfortunate for Thurman because he did have pretty good coverage on him. But a guy like Woods who can fly, now they've got the 2 wide receivers, Edwards and Woods, in the game.
Edwards wide right, Woods wide left. It's 1st and 10 at the Boston College 36. This all started at the 15-yard line. Campbell still has it, gets away, still in control, pitch back, and down goes James, fumbles the ball, and Auburn is recovered on the play. And the ball is spotted inside the 30-yard line as they unpile. 12 minutes, 50 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter, with Auburn leading 23-10. And on the move once again, Lionel James, number 6, Mike Edwards, number 89, the wide receiver, comes off.
He's the guy that ended up with a football. That ball was pitched in front. That was a forward lateral.
Yes, it was. Very close. Ball spotted just inside the 30. It's a pickup of 6 on the play. It's 2nd and 4 for Auburn. The Tigers, who went 8-3 on the season, 4-2 in the Southeast Conference. In their first bowl game since 1974. Campbell, the inside handoff to Lionel James, brought down at the 27-yard line. Steve Lubisher, number 93, a 6'2", 217 junior from Oceanport, Rhode Island.
Lubisher and Harrington, a nose guard. They're not really playing it as a nose guard in this game. They're spreading the guys out and almost playing a 4-3 defense.
Spot the ball at the 28-yard line. It's 3rd and a long 2. Big play for Boston College. They have got to tighten up and stop Auburn here.
Go left.
Campbell still got it. He's got the first down and more to the 22-yard line. Steve DiAsi made the tackle, but once again, running the option beautifully was Randy Campbell, the junior. Picked up a good block from the freshman tackle, Steve Wallace, number 78.
It was a great play. Everybody thought that the fullback, and I just said go left because they were overshifted to the short side of the field, because Auburn, from this wishbone, coming into this game, like to run to the short side of the field. They figure they get more power on that side for some reason or other, whatever that is. I don't understand why they go that way into the short side. There's more room to the outside. They did it that time, and BC didn't shift back.
Clayton Buford wide to the right. Pitch back to Bo Jackson inside the 20. Balls forward to about the 17-yard line. Bo Jackson, who scored 2 touchdowns in the first half. One on a dive from about 6 inches out as they work on the ankle of T.J. Fitzpatrick, the linebacker for Boston College.
Man already has an interception in this game.
Yes, he does. Ball at the 17-yard line. Pickup of 5 on the play. 2nd and 5 for Auburn, leading 23-10. They've had the ball for over 4 minutes. 2 wide receivers are in there. Campbell for Woods, incomplete. That'll bring up a 3rd and 5 for Auburn. Campbell, who has only 3 incompletions in the game.
It's a timing pattern. He was trying to throw the ball out to Woods. But, you know, the thing about it is when you, on first down, when you pick up 5 yards, Sam, and you're in this territory down inside the 20-yard line, you want to stay with the thing that you do so well, and that is the run. Now it forces you into making a decision on a call, run or pass. I wouldn't be surprised to see him run again now.
3rd and 5 in the wishbone. Campbell hands off inside to Bo Jackson, breaks a couple of tackles. Trying for the first down. He may have made it. Good effort by Bo Jackson. Very close to a first down. Auburn people are waving first down. It's spotted close to the yard markers, and the officials want to measure. Good effort. Junior Poles, number 72. Russ Joyner, number 88, in on the stop.
Junior Poles is down on the ground, Sam.
It was Joyner on the tackle. That's Poles, who really seems to be in some pain right there.
That's one of the first guys that Jackson ran through. And look at this. It's a 4th down. But you know, here's where that wishbone wears the defense down. You see the guys coming out of the halftime. They're a little cold, and that power football, and all of a sudden it starts to take its toll on the defense. And this is the one thing that Boston College can't afford to do. Poles up. That's good news for Boston College.
Poles, a senior defensive tackle from Caledonia, New York, 6'4", 281. Is that you?
No, that's some old AFL referees.
Tell me, how'd you like the ride on the Columbia? You liked it, right? Timeout on the field. 10:32 to go. 3rd quarter. We'll be right back. Auburn with 4th and about a foot, just short of the 12-yard line, will go for it. That's 3 times now that they are going for it on 4th down. Once they were stopped at the goal line, once they made a touchdown. Quarterback sneak this time. First down, Auburn.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Campbell, Mr. Dye. Thank you so much for that. You know, we've been talking so much about the running backs, O'Neal and Pratt and Jackson and James. If you take a look at this Auburn front line, Sam, they are doing such a great job. They are doing it, and that's where it's done. When you have a running team, it's in the trenches.
Good-looking offensive line. Bishop Reeves, the center, a senior at 6'5", 255. And that offensive line includes some pretty good stars. A first-team All-SEC in Dave Jordan, and a second-team All-SEC in Pat Arrington, the tackle. Jordan, the guard. 1st and 10 at the 12-yard line. Bo Jackson slides through to the 6. Nice move. Did you see him turn his body and just knife through that hole?
He did a double sidestep, I guess you'd call it. He just hopped from one to his left, back to his right, and got through the hole and picked up, almost 6 yards on the play. Just an excellent move by the back.
Bo Jackson,
James, they are very, very impressive. And the line again, doing the job.
Jackson rushed for 829 yards during the regular season.
Sneak it.
2nd and 4. Campbell, right side for Edwards, knocked down. Good play by Tony Thurman, number 17. Intended for Mike Edwards, but Thurman stepped right in front. That's a dangerous pass to throw, because if Thurman catches that football, that's 102 yards and a touchdown for Boston College.
When you throw this pass play, Sam, it's supposed to be thrown to the corner of the end zone. Campbell's throwing this ball to Edwards, and it's almost picked off by Thurman. This ball is underthrown. Now watch what Edwards, he ends up becoming a defensive man. Watch what he does right here, and now he hits Thurman, knocks him down. There's the ball in the air. You're right. And again, they gain 6 yards on first down on a running play and come back to a pass.
3rd and 4 for Auburn at the BC 6. Campbell still has it. Pitch back, Lionel James. He is brought down. Tony Thurman with a great play. Good tackle. Last time on that kind of play, James broke the tackle of Thurman and picked up good yardage. This time, Thurman held on.
Thurman just sat on the outside, and his job is the back coming out of the backfield. He cannot worry about the quarterback for the simple reason the quarterback is too far to the inside of the field. So what he has to do is play the back. That time, Campbell could have kept the ball.
Al Del Greco, 13 for 21 in field goals during the regular season, 1 for 1 in this game, with Mike Mann holding at the 13. 23-yard field goal is up and perfect. 8:44 to go in the third quarter. What a drive by Auburn, taking the kickoff and holding on to the football. 6 minutes and 16 seconds to start the second half, wearing down Boston College. Auburn 26, Boston College 10. Back at the Tangerine Bowl in a moment. Jack Bicknell looking things over for Boston College, receiving the kickoff. That's Bell at the 6-yard line, up to the 20. And down at about the 23-yard line. Boston College going on offense for the first time in the second half. Demetrius Kochery, a linebacker, made the tackle. I kid you not, that's his name. Is that a football name or an actor's name? That's an actor's name, Demetrius Kochery.
Yeah, but if he got into the pros, can you imagine? Can you imagine?
Boston College, they have got to score.
That's right. I'll tell you. You know, they talk about series of downs where they're all important, but this is so important to Boston College. They don't have to get a field goal. They have to score a touchdown in this drive.
Single setback. Flutie, draw play. Stratford, nice run. Is brought down up at about the 28-yard line. Pick up a 5 on the play. Tackle by number 28, Bob Harris, the strong safety. Key statistic in this game. Auburn has not punted. And that tells you everything.
Boston College has only punted one time, and that was an 18-yarder.
But they have turned the ball over with those 2 interceptions that have hurt. Ball to 29. Pickup of 6 by Stratford. 2nd and 4, Boston College. 2 wide receivers to the right side. Doug Flutie, the sophomore. On the draw. Stratford looking for room. Gets to the 30. Brought down just across the 30-yard line. He ran a long way for that 1 yard.
Yeah, he really did. I'll tell you, the nose guard, Outman, number 61, is the guy that really made the play. He just took the guard back to Stratford and waited for his friends to come and give him the help, and it's exactly what they did. You know, you always see the guy that makes the tackle, but you don't see the guy in the defensive line that causes it all.
Ball at the 30-yard line. It's 3rd and about 2 for Boston College. 7:25 to go in the third quarter. Flutie puts it up, right side, complete, and it's a first down. David King bringing down John Shane, number 85, the wide receiver, across the 40-yard line. First down, Boston College. Good pass by Flutie.
Good pass protection. Boston College's deep offensive line giving him great pass protection, and again only the 4-man rush trying to get the Flutie, and you better put some linebackers in there. Don't stop doing what you did in the first half.
Spot the ball just short of the 40-yard line on 1st and 10. Flutie fakes the draw, starts to run, looks for some room. He's in trouble. Down he goes. Greg Carr, number 54, leading tackler on this Auburn Tiger squad, brought him down. Carr, a sophomore from Birmingham, Alabama. Good linebacker, bringing down Doug Flutie.
Strong safety blitz that time. That had Harris, number 28, coming in the backfield. And what that does, it makes one-on-one blocking all the way. You can't double up with your offensive lineman on the 4 defensive linemen. So in that case, somebody's got to get through. Flutie couldn't find anybody open because you're in man coverage, which is the best place you want to be, but your receivers got to get open quick.
Picked up less than a yard on the play. Let's still call it 2nd and 10. Phelan in motion to the right side for Boston College. Pitch back, Stratford. Sweep to the right side. Nice run by Stratford. First down across midfield. Doug Smith, number 99, finally caught up with Troy Stratford, but that kid can run. The freshman out of Linden, New Jersey, who led Boston College in rushing this season with 630 yards.
Watch Regan, the right guard, number 61. He also gets a good block. He gets out. Here he comes on this sweep. There's Regan coming down. Look at the block he gets on the outside. Regan opens the hole for Stratford. He just cuts off the big guard, and off they go.
Beastuck, the fullback, also had a good block. 1st and 10 at midfield for Boston College. With 5:50 to go in the third quarter, And Auburn leading 26-10. Fake on the draw. Flutie over the middle. Wide open is Brennan, and he's got it. Did he hold on? The ball was taken away from him. It's Auburn's football. The ball was taken away.
Sam, this is an excellent call by the official. And he had to hesitate because I'll tell you why. Brennan did not have control of the football. Carr took the ball away from him before he hit the ground. Now watch what happens in this play. Brennan's going to catch the ball, but he doesn't have control. Watch what Carr does. See the ball going down? Carr takes it away before he hits the ground and looks at the official. It was an excellent call by the official.
And a great play by Greg Carr, the linebacker, taking the ball away from Brian Brennan. So Boston College once again with a turnover stops a drive. 5:38 to go. Third quarter. Auburn 26, Boston College 10. We'll be right back. Sam Rosen and Paul McGuire at the Tangerine Bowl in Orlando, Florida, where Auburn goes on offense for the second time in the second half, leading 26-10, and once again taking the ball away from Boston College on their own 33-yard line. Randy Campbell, the quarterback. Fullback gets the fake. Campbell with the pitch to the right side. It was deflected high in the air and incomplete.
And for the people out there that are keeping the stats on this thing, on Flutie, that is an interception, not a fumble. It is an interception by Carr because the man was not on the ground and he didn't have control of the football. Brennan I'm talking about. So Carr just took it away. It is ruled an interception.
Two wide receivers in there for Auburn. Number 89, Mike Edwards, wide to the left. Chris Woods, number 1, wide right. Wishbone offense with Randy Campbell, the quarterback. Ron O'Neal, the fullback. Lionel James and Bo Jackson, the running backs. This is Lionel James with a little stutter step up to the 35-yard line. Steve DiAssi and Junior Poles making the tackle. 72 Junior Poles is okay back in the lineup after being shaken up. Lionel James with a 2-yard pickup brings up 3rd and 7 for Auburn, just across 35-yard line.
DiAssi showed you right then why he is an excellent linebacker, because James, through every move that he had trying to get away from DiAssi, didn't take any of them and made the tackle.
3rd and long. Wingbone formation this time with a wingman Lionel James to the left side and Campbell to put it up. Looking for James, being rushed. Down he goes. Great sack on the play by T.J. Fitzpatrick, number 28. Outstanding linebacker who had 122 tackles this year, making the stop on Randy Campbell.
All right, Fitzpatrick gets in. He tries a little play action, but what happens is that O'Neal goes out to the left-hand side. Can't pick up everybody. They just sent the linebackers. They sent everybody, and they got Campbell for the sack. Good play on the defense.
First punt of the game for Auburn. Lewis Colbert, a sophomore from Phoenix City, Alabama, stands at his own 10. Phelan is back deep for Boston College. Kick is away. Fair catch. Wave 4. Phelan at the 37. Boston College goes on offense with 4 minutes and 11 seconds to go in the third quarter, and Auburn leading this Tangerine Bowl 26-10. By the way, that scoring drive for Auburn earlier was a 79-yard drive, wound up in a 23-yard field goal by Al Del Greco. 12 plays, 79 yards, 6 minutes and 16 seconds eating off that clock. And as you said, Paul, it's that power offense wearing down Boston College. The Tangerine Bowl on ESPN. We'll be back with more in just a moment. Boston College goes on offense. Why are they wearing those heavy coats, Paul?
We're in Florida. That's why.
1st and 10. Pitch back. Fakes the pitch back. Flutie still got it. Throws on the run. Off the hands of Nizelek. The tight end. He was then hit hard by Bob Harris. And Nizelek shaken up. The leading receiver is Dennis Collier. Number 47 had the hard hit.
I'll tell you, Nizelek takes a shot here. Flutie's out to the outside. He could run, but take a look at Nizelek. The ball's up in the air. He's still looking at the ball, and Collier just hammers him.
Wow. Collier, a senior from Sheffield, Alabama. Nizelek still down on the field. It's not been a good game for Scott Nizelek. He's had his hands on several passes and hasn't held on.
The one he dropped when he tried to run before was outstanding, because it would have been a first down situation. Then he also punted, if I'm not correct. It was a bad punt. He's up. He just got the wind knocked out of him. He's fine.
Nizelek is okay as he heads off the field. College basketball continues on ESPN, the greatest college basketball schedule ever. Monday night, December 20th, 8 o'clock Eastern, Marquette at Minnesota, followed at 11 o'clock Eastern by LSU at UCLA. 4:05 to go, third quarter. Second down and 10 for Boston College at their own 37-yard line. Auburn leading 26-10. Shrigley in motion, Flutie to pass. With time, he lets it go, and it is intercepted by Dorminey. No, he dropped the ball. Dorminey almost had it. He overthrew Shrigley on the play, number 82. And there's Drinkard and Dorminey in on the coverage.
Sam, we can't see it from this angle, but Stratford was running down the other sideline all by himself. This ball was just a poorly thrown ball. You're going to see Dorminey come up. That would have been ruled an interception anyway. He didn't have it. It was a trap. But Stratford ran down the sideline. You can't take him out of your offense. He has been such a major part of it so far, running the football, catching the football. You've got to look at him. That time they ran a play-action pass. He came out of the backfield, and no one covered him.
Three wide receivers in there for Boston College. Shane and Phelan wide to the left. Brennan wide right. Flutie rolls out in trouble, and down he is at the 31-yard line. Second sack of the game for the Auburn Tigers. Scott Riley, number 92, is in on the tackle. Ben Thomas, number 91, also on the charge. Good rush by Auburn.
They just teed off and went that time, and they came back and must have said something to Flutie because he was looking for Stratford that time. They picked him up. It was just one play too late.
Back to punt is Scott Nizelek. And deep is Lionel James, the leading punt returner in the nation. Drops the ball at the 31 and goes down. All right, smart guy. Didn't try to run with it after he lost it. Just covered it up, and Auburn goes on offense from its own 31-yard line. 3:19 to go in this third quarter, and Auburn leading 26-10. And give credit to the Auburn defense. They've done a good job here in the second half.
They really have. We talked about the drive. Now, Boston College had a drive, didn't do anything with it. It was an interception. Stopped Auburn, came back, had another drive, and didn't do anything with it. 16 points down. Time is running out.
And the wishbone, Pratt is the fullback. Jackson and James the running back. Campbell, the quarterback, still has it. 35-40 and up to the 45. 14-yard run by Randy Campbell, the junior quarterback. As I mentioned, they say he's not a good runner, not a good passer, but he does the job. Junior Poles, number 72, made the stop. Randy Campbell, who just doesn't make mistakes, and he fits in perfectly with Pat Dye's theories of offense.
All right, and what's happening now is when Campbell's going down the line of scrimmage, they're not getting the linebacker nor the defensive end on Campbell. They're leaving him alone. They're paying too much attention to James coming out of the backfield, and you've got to pay attention to the quarterback or he'll burn you.
Passing on first down, deep for Woods. He's got it at the Boston College 38-yard line. Randy Campbell having an outstanding game. Radachowski covering Woods on the play, but really not covering him.
No way near him. I'll tell you right now, Radachowski has no chance at all on this play. Just take a look at it. Woods is right there. He's like 6 yards off the man. He knows he can't do anything. He's got to play him deep. He's out there on single coverage because they're afraid of the running play. And this is what's confusing the defense.
It's another first down for Auburn. 2 in a row on 2 plays. And they're on the move, leading 26-10. Campbell with a pitch back to Bo Jackson down the sideline. And down to the 20-yard line goes Bo Jackson. Radachowski, the cornerback, finally upended him. But another fine run for Bo Jackson.
Radachowski that's twice in a row. Radachowski's in a position right now thinking, oh no, I'm it. This is all there is left. Look at everybody is blocked. And here it is, one-on-one. The situation that you don't want to be in, and he just cut his legs out from underneath him. Jackson is a fine runner.
That was a smoother version of the touchdown run. He didn't get the high pitch out. This time it was just a line drive, and he just took it in stride and flew down the sideline. 18-yard pickup, and the handoff goes inside to the fullback for a couple of yards, maybe 3 on the play. Greg Pratt carrying, number 36. Scott Harrington, the nose guard, number 52, made the tackle. Bo Jackson, 14 carries, 65 yards in the game. And Randy Campbell, 10 for 15, 176 yards, his best passing game of the season.
Well, they might have found a passer in Auburn's
repertoire. I'll tell you one thing about Mr. Pratt is they ran up the middle for 4 yards, and it doesn't look like much when they give to the fullback. But those guys are so big in a leg drive, they just keep carrying the defensive guys, and they're wearing him down. Goodbye.
Touchdown to the fullback, Greg Pratt. Beautiful run. And once again, they had him looking. That great versatility in the offense. The good running backs, the halfbacks, the passing of Campbell, and he goes to the fullback. Watch that.
Look at the blocking up front. That's Jordan, and he is the #1 guy in the SEC. I'm going to tell you what, the blocking is so great. We touched on it a little while ago, that offensive line, and here we are at that point, Sam, wearing him down.
Yeah.
And you hate to keep bringing it up, but this is what the problem is.
Del Greco for the extra point. Mike Mann holds. The kick is good. 1 minute, 10 seconds to go in this third quarter. And the Auburn Tigers have put 10 points on the board here in the third quarter. Stopped Boston College twice. And a very impressive drive down the field, capped off by the touchdown run of Greg Pratt. And Auburn now leads it 33-10.
I'll tell you, this is the time when the backs go to the sidelines and you start thanking those offensive linemen. You might have taken them out to dinner or do whatever you want to do with them because they are doing a job.
Second touchdown of the season for Greg Pratt. And for Auburn, their second highest point total this season. They scored 35 against Mississippi State and 30 against Rutgers. And they have come up with 33, and we still have a quarter plus a minute 10 seconds to play in this game. Good offensive showing by the Auburn Tigers.
And, you know, 2 series of downs. This will be the third one in this third quarter for BC. And the problem is that Auburn has made the adjustment at halftime. And I said there's going to be some adjustments that had to be made. And obviously Auburn has made it as far as their defense is concerned.
Dave Blanks to kick off for Auburn. Howie Brown and Ken Bell are deep. The kick is into the end zone. Brown at the 1-yard line. Straight up the middle. And can't break through. Loose ball. The scramble is on. And the call is, let's see. They're still waiting for the official's call. The Auburn players are pointing their way. And still Boston College ball. Quincy Williams forced that fumble with the big hit. The Auburn drive was 5 plays, 69 yards in 2 minutes, and Pratt's 15-yard run for the touchdown. Here's the kickoff.
Here's a Suicide Squad. Just take a look at what happens. Watch this hit. Goodbye, baby.
That's Quincy Williams.
You know, that's what I say. You got to be a little wacky on those teams. You go down and sacrifice your body. You find out why it is a Suicide Squad. The one thing that it shook me up a little bit is all the players grabbed him and picked him up, and they were dragging him off the field. Don't ever do that with a player. Let him lay there. Let the trainers go out. That's their job.
They probably didn't think he was hurt.
Watch it again. Watch Quincy Williams, number 93, come into the right of your screen, and watch Brown say goodbye. Look at this hit. Now, see, he's down. He's hurt, but don't touch him, whatever you do.
1st and 10, Boston College at the 20-yard line. Auburn leading it 33-10. Troy Stratford breaks into the backfield and gets 6 yards on the carry. Tim Drinkard, number 18, the cornerback, made the stop. Every time Troy Stratford has carried the ball, he's looked good.
Oh, yes, he has. He's a very impressive back. But the only problem is now the time is running around. We're at 40 seconds and counting. We're taking a look at BC. They've got to throw the ball now, but don't be afraid to let this young man be in your pass patterns and use them.
That was Junior Poles being wrapped up, the ice pack on the knee. 2nd and 5 for Boston College. Flutie hits Nizelak for a first down across the 30. Just a simple square out to the tight end, Scott Nizelak, a senior from Brantford, Connecticut, leading receiver for the BC Eagles this season with 39 receptions, 658 yards, caught 11 passes in the Penn State game. There's a game it's hard to believe. Boston College got blown out in that game by Penn State, 52-17. Flutie threw for 520 yards. Wow.
Think about it. Auburn's going to give them the short stuff. They'll let them have all the short stuff they want.
23 seconds to go in the third quarter. 1st and 10, Boston College at the 31. Here comes Stratford. This time they've got him.
Goodbye.
Good play. Now Ottman, number 61, in on the tackle. Gerald Williams, number 98, also right there.
little delayed draw that never developed. We're coming at the end of the quarter, but that play just didn't develop at all. Stratford just got nailed before he got to the line of scrimmage and ended up losing 3 yards on the play.
The end of the third quarter here at the Tangerine Bowl in Orlando, Florida, and the Auburn Tiger fans are on their feet. The score at the end of the third quarter, Auburn 33, Boston College 10. You're watching the Tangerine Bowl on ESPN. We'll be right back. Back at the Tangerine Bowl for the fourth quarter of play. Auburn leading Boston College 33-10, and Boston College needs to put points on the board in a hurry. They have got to score, and score quickly. The ball is just short of the 45-yard line. It's 1st and 10 for the Eagles of Boston College. Ken Bell, number 30, is in at tailback, replacing Troy Stratford. Flutie on the draw play to Bell. Bell gets a yard, and that's all. Good work up front. Number 81, Demetrius Kochery.
Sam, I just have to have the feeling when you're down 23 points and you're in the final quarter of the game, this is not part of the game plan. What I think is happening is that they're sending plays in, yes, but I got to believe that Flutie is seeing something in the defense that maybe these draws are going to work. This is no time to be playing games. You've got to go out. You've got a strong arm. You've got great receivers. You've got to go use them.
Shift. Nizelek tight left end. Phelan the wing to the right. And they fake the reverse, and Flutie's in trouble, and down he goes at the 39-yard line. Well, they're trying the razzle-dazzle stuff. I don't think so. You got to go back to basics. Gerald Williams made the tackle. You've got to go back to basics and throw your football and use your plays, not the razzle-dazzle stuff.
You're exactly right, Sam. And the reason you don't is you don't run it against a well-disciplined defensive football team like Auburn has. They've got guys that are staying at home. The guys are waiting for these things to happen. You've got a kid like Flutie that can throw the football. God knows he can throw it. Get back and let him fire.
It's 3rd and about 16 at the 39-yard line for Boston College, and Flutie goes back and has good protection. Fires, and it is complete to Phelan at the 45-yard line. It's a first down. Hard tackle by Chris Martin, number 43, but a good catch by Gerard Phelan, a sophomore from Rosemont, Pennsylvania.
I told you, Sam, the kid can throw the football and go back and throw it. All right, Flutie, show him exactly what you can do. You're going to see Phelan come across. Look where this ball, right on the line,
perfect,
hits him in the hands. Now he's going to take a shot right there. That's all right, but he got the first down. This is the one thing that this man can do so well, is stand back there and throw the football. If he gets in trouble, he can get out of it on his own because he can move. He's a very mobile quarterback. Let him do what he does best.
Nizelek a tight right end. Double wide receivers to the left side. Lone setback is Bistek, the fullback, and Flutie is straight back. Steps up and starts to run with room. 40, 35, and down he goes. And it's just about close to a first down. Might be a little bit short, depends on where they spot the ball. Flutie, who can run the ball very well, just pulled it down. He ran, during the season, he ran for over 500 yards. He had a net of about 270 because of the losses that were tacked on, but he's a good runner.
Little man, 5'10", big shoes, I'll tell you right now. But you got to take a look at what he does. When I said, let him go back and throw. If he gets in trouble, he can get out of it on his own. Now they can't make a decision. They got to bring a plumb bob out.
Check it out. Is it touching? No. Yes. Referee steps back, takes another look. Let's pulls the chains again. And it looks like it's an inch short.
Oh, they're going to give it to him.
Oh, all right.
They don't want to waste it. But you know, that's the thing about this young man. He can do that. He did that in the first half, in that first drive when he moved him up and down the field. Sam, he's got great mobility. He's got a good release. He can run well with the ball. He's smart. Let him do what he does well.
Well, now they gave him the first down, so it's 1st and 10 at the 35-yard line for Boston College. Flutie is 14 for 28 passing. Steps up.
Look at this.
Gets away from the rush and lets it go. Phelan at the 15. Good play. Phelan coming across the field. David King, number 27, brought him down, but Gerard Phelan makes the reception for a first down inside the Auburn 15.
Watch the mobility of this young man. Watch what Flutie does here. He avoids the tackler, moves up. Now that's Smith coming up on him, but he sees Phelan coming across the field. Look at the throw he makes. He's running one way, stops, gets his body set, and throws the ball back across the field. That's a tough throw to make, but he hits Phelan on a dead run.
Pitch back to Troy Stratford. Stratford gets close to the 10-yard line where he's brought down. That is a tough pass to make because Smith is 6'6", and he's got the arms up. Tough to throw that ball with the big guy bearing down on you.
Exactly. Boston College at this point being down 23 points, they don't have time to run the football.
They've got the ball at the 10. It'll be 2nd and 6. They need 3 touchdowns and 3 two-point conversions. Flag on the play. Flag down. Doug Flutie has broken the all-time Boston College all-time passing record.
This looks like unsportsmanlike conduct because it's not delay a game, it's against Auburn, and they threw it in the backfield. I think somebody might have said, yeah, it is. Unsportsmanlike conduct.
All right.
He said a no-no.
Somebody did something. And Doug Flutie comes in to check it out. Flutie is 15 of 29, 214 yards, and a great. And he has broken the all-time career passing record at Boston College, and he's just a sophomore. There's Jack Bicknell. I incorrectly said he played at Monmouth. He started his playing career in college at Rutgers, was injured and finished up at Montclair State. Coached at Maine, University of Maine, prior to coming to Boston College. In his 2nd year as head coach at BC. 1st and goal at the 5 after the penalty. Actually, it was 1st and 1, and now it's 1st and goal as they get down inside the 5. Bob Biestek, the fullback, carrying. Flutie, with his 214 yards passing today, has 4,575 yards passing in his career, which has spanned only 2 years.
He's going to give people some fits, I'll tell you right now. All right, just take a look at here's the guys on the field. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, yeah, there's 12
men on the field.
Steve Anderson, our producer, knows what he's talking about. And one thing he can do is count.
Flutie still has it. Flags go down on 1st and goal. In trouble, throws to Nisolek, touchdown. Now we'll wait for the flag. Let's see. Nisolek coming up with a big catch, good reception, but the flag on the far side is what they want to find out about.
And they got the touchdown. Boston College says it is a touchdown. Take a look at this young man. Take a look at this young man. You talk about mobility and agility. Watch what he does here. Here comes Smith again. Nisolek goes up for the ball. He just takes the ball away from the defender. Just no chance at all for the defender to make the play.
Now we're seeing Nisolek, the Nisolek that we heard about and that we've seen earlier in the season. An excellent receiver. He had some problems earlier in the game, and we criticized him about it, but we've got to give him credit for a tremendous catch on that play.
Well, he catches when you have to, but you know the ones earlier could have put them in the bad position they're in now. Now they can get within 16.
Well, they want to go. They're going to go for 2. Try to get within 15. They're going to go for 2 because if they can get 3 8-pointers, then they can go on top by 1. So they're going for the 2 points here.
You can count too, huh? Along with Steve.
I brought my calculator. 10:55 to go. 4th quarter. Auburn 33. Boston College 16. We'll be back in just a moment. Boston College with a 2-point conversion. Now within 15. It is 33-18. 10:55 to go. And with Flutie throwing the ball, this is a team that we said has come from behind. I saw this team against Rutgers. I watched the tape of their game against Rutgers, and they were down late in the game, less than 2 minutes to go. He marched the team the entire length of the field and scored a touchdown, 2-point conversion. They beat Rutgers 14-13.
And again, I'm going to repeat myself. Sam, let him do what he does so well, and that's go back and sit in that pocket and throw the football. And he really does it well because he's so agile that he can get away. He's got that one thing that a lot of quarterbacks don't have. He can see people rushing him. He's got that peripheral vision, and he sees that whole field. He knows where his people are going to be. And Isaac now 2 times. He catches a touchdown and he catches a 2-pointer. The man is back in the game. He's got his team on track.
Kevin Snow to kick off for Boston College. 33-18. Auburn leading it. Good high kick. At the goal line, it's Buford. To the 10. Has some room on the outside. 25, and down he goes at the 28. Good tackle on the play by George Ratajkowski, number 15. That last drive for Boston College, 80 yards, 12 plays, and a 3-yard touchdown pass to Scott Nislek. 4 minutes, 48 seconds on the drive for Boston College. Clayton Buford on the kickoff return for Auburn up to the 29-yard line.
Now does Auburn do what they do best? And that's run the football. But tonight it's been a different story with Campbell. He's been throwing so well.
Big series for Boston College. They've got to stiffen up on defense. Campbell, pitch back. Lionel James, little train, makes the turn, and he's up to the 40-yard line. Ross Joyner, number 88, a senior from the Bronx, New York, went to Cardinal Hayes High School, making the stop.
And Bo Jackson just returned the favor for Lionel James. He got an excellent block that got James out around the side.
Those are 2 pretty good running backs, Lionel James and Bo Jackson. There you see the scoring drives we mentioned. 12 plays, 80 yards. And Flutie hitting Nislek for the touchdown. Chains come out for the measurement with 10:32 to go. And it's about a foot short.
You know, you wonder how many times they run that quarterback option going down that side, and all of a sudden just flip to the guy. But you know, it's a question of the guys getting the block at the line of scrimmage. That's the offensive line, and then the backs blocking for you like Jackson did that time.
Campbell for the first down on the quarterback sneak across the 40, and just playing it safe.
They must have heard me from before. It's the second time he's run a quarterback sneak for a first down.
They like your play calling.
That's so easy up here, Sam. It is.
Keep it simple. Ball's at the 42-yard line. The Auburn Tigers, first bowl game since 1974. And for Boston College, their first bowl game since 1942.
We're at 10 minutes. They got plenty of time.
Campbell throwing for the sideline, incomplete, intended for Tom Carroll, number 84.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, Auburn's not content on sitting on the ball. Now Campbell coming out on first down and throwing the ball. Now, you know, on that one drive, he went run, 6 yards, pass, incomplete, run, first down. Now he comes out in this series of downs in the fourth quarter going this way. He ran 2 plays, got a first down, comes out and throws the ball. Now will they go back to the run? I would imagine they would.
2nd and 10, wishbone. Clayton Buford, the wide receiver, to the left side. Handoff. Bo Jackson fights his way forward for about 3, maybe 4 yards. Doug Geyer, a senior who broke his leg in the Temple game earlier this season, came back against Holy Cross the final regular season game. Geyer started last year, started 1981 as the #1 quarterback. He got hurt. Then Lockery came in. He was the starting quarterback. He got hurt. Flutie took over, and it's been all Flutie since then. And he has broken the career passing record at Boston College with his performance here tonight. Campbell with a pitch to Lionel James, and he's across the midfield line and close to a first down.
He's going to be about a yard short on this first down. And I'll tell you, with a 15-point lead, but the way they're running the ball, who knows? I'm glad I'm up here on this call.
It's about the 49-yard line. I think you're right. It's a little less than a yard. They spot it just inside the 49-yard line of Boston College.
They're going to go for it. I love this. I can't believe that they're going to go for this.
4th down. Tom Carroll, number 84, brings the play in.
You think this may be a no-call situation, Sam? And just stand up there and take the penalty and have a no-call play like they do in a huddle?
No.
And make a long count to try to draw Boston College off? No,
quarterback sneak, your favorite play.
He's got it.
He's got it. Lionel James has carried 17 times in this game for 74 yards. Bo Jackson has carried 15 times for 69 yards. Twins. Done a good job. Great running game for Auburn, and Randy Campbell has had an outstanding passing game.
You know, now they're going to go in and measure this thing. Boy, I'll tell you, this is going to be awful close, Sam. I don't know if they got it. I doubt if they did. I don't think they did.
No. How about that?
We saw a lot of people moving forward. We just didn't see Campbell going that far. That was almost a yard to go, and they didn't pick it up. That was a gutsy call, but was it the right call? You're down, you're up by 15 points. Wow. There's a situation where you could do the long call, let the clock run out, take the penalty, and punt the ball away and put them deep in their own territory. But you're giving Flutie and Boston College the ball at the 48, 49-yard line.
Boston College with a chance to get back into it. 8:45 to go, fourth quarter. Auburn 33, Boston College 18. We'll be right back. Well, Boston College goes on the offense from their own 49-yard line. A big opportunity, trailing by 15. Flutie being rushed over the middle, almost intercepted. Intended for Phelan. Mark Dormany, number 46. Dennis Collier, number 47, with some coverage on the play.
Dormany read that thing so well. He had it played so well and just didn't catch the ball. But that time the defensive line got the heat on Flutie, and he had to rush the ball a little bit. And that's what they've got to do. They can't stop doing what they did before to him, and they can't start it with this four-man rush. They're going to have to send at least one more linebacker.
Auburn playing with 5 defensive backs in there. 2nd and 10, Boston College 33-18. Auburn leading this Tangerine Bowl with 8:40 to go. Flutie being rushed, down he goes. Great rush on the play. Jackson. By the Auburn Tigers. Jeff Jackson, number 42.
And I believe Thomas was also in there, number 91. But watch number 42, Jackson. He just goes right through the fullback, and he is in Flutie's face. And that is Thomas, number 91, on the other side. Flutie had no chance at all. 3rd down and 22. Clock running, Sam.
Big loss. Back to the 37-yard line. Flutie sends 3 receivers, 5 receivers out now as his backs come out. Throws to Troy Stratford at the 40. Cuts back. And down he goes at the 44-yard line, way short of a first down. And it brings up a 4th down for Boston College. So the big sack pays off for Auburn. Big defensive play. There's Jeff Jackson, number 42, getting off the pile for Auburn. And the punting unit comes out for Boston College. Scott Nizeluk will kick it away. His 3rd punt of the game.
It's amazing how Nizeluk is so effective a kicker as a punter, because he holds the ball so high.
And he gets rid of it to the far sideline, bounces at the 20, rolls to the 15, to the 10, a good BC roll, and it's touchdown at the 8-yard line. Good kick.
That's why.
For Boston College.
That's why, Sam. Kicks away from the return man and lets the ball roll.
Timeout on the field. 7 minutes, 11 seconds to go in the 4th quarter. You're watching the Tangerine Bowl on ESPN. 47-yard punt for Scott Nizeluk puts Auburn back on its own 8-yard line. 7 minutes, 11 seconds to go in this 37th Tangerine Bowl. Auburn leading 33-18. Pat Dye, his 9th year as a head coach. 6 years at East Carolina, 1 year at Wyoming, and 2nd year here at Auburn. Good defensive play by Boston College. T.J. Fitzpatrick, the senior linebacker, actually the graduate student linebacker. And the cheering from the sideline. Pat Dye, who's had only 1 losing season in 9 years as a head coach, was 5-6 in his first year at Auburn. And this year has turned it around with an 8-3 record.
You know what he was standing on his toes right there doing, Sam? Looking at the clock, trying to get by these guys. Said, why is that thing not moving? And it really does. It looks like it stands still.
They're using up most of the 25 seconds on the time clock. Tom Carroll is wide to the left side. Campbell hands off inside to the fullback, and nothing there as Boston College is shutting down the inside game right here on this series. Ron O'Neal, the fullback, gets up. Rob Swanky, number 92. Russ Joyner, number 88, in on the stop. That forward wall for Boston College doing a good job. Brings up 3rd and 10 for Auburn. All right, what do you call for Auburn now with 6 minutes to go in the game?
I would be surprised to see him run that option play. What they're trying to do down here is just get themselves some field position, so they're running the fullback up the middle, which obviously Boston College is shutting it down. With that toss, if you make a bad toss, it can cost you a touchdown here. Well,
Campbell.
Here they come.
Pitch out. Lionel James, 15, and he's got the first down.
I haven't made the right guess yet.
Pat Arrington, the right tackle, number 76, led the way for Lionel Little Train James.
You know, and Campbell is the guy along with the fake up the middle. Boston College figuring they're going to stay in the middle of the thing, punt the ball away. Look at the coach saying, "Can't we stop this play? They've only run this thing at us 24 times so far in the game." But that, you know, you're talking about big first downs. Now the clock. They said he was out of bounds. The clock stopped.
1st and 10 for Auburn, but they retain possession. 5:44 to go. The pitch back to Bo Jackson. Left side, gets about 3, 4 on the play. T.J. Fitzpatrick, number 28. Vic Crawford, number 5, in on the stop. Lionel James, 18 carries, 86 yards for Auburn. And that man, Bo Jackson, has run for about 75. Tremendous running game. Great offensive game. 17 carries, 73 yards for Bo Jackson.
You know what I like about Auburn, too? They're little split ends, but they do a job. That time, Tommy Carroll, number 84, just hung up the corner man and gave Bo Jackson a little bit more running room.
2nd and 6 at the 24 for Auburn, leading 33-18. 5 minutes to go in the game. The fullback. Oh, good run by Greg Pratt, number 36. And he's got another Auburn first down. And the wishbone offense has been tough for Boston College to handle.
Well, we talked about it in the opening, Sam, and it's proving out in the 4th quarter. They're wearing down the defensive line. They're not reacting like they were before. They're running left, they're running right, they're running the wide stuff. Then all of a sudden, they just pop that play up the middle. And give credit to that offensive line.
And now I'll give a little credit to the coaching staff. Very few mistakes by this team. Few penalties, just the 1 turnover on the interception. Good football team. Here comes Lionel James. There goes Lionel James. 50. Thurman wraps him up at the Boston College 48-yard line. Lionel James is over 100 yards in the game.
Oh, Sam, and we talked about the blocking backs. Howell, number 20. Take a look at the block. He gets right on the right of your screen. He gets a great block on the outside and lets this man look at his legs. He's not tired. Everybody else is a little tired, but he's not tired. Thurman finally brings him down.
Ball spotted at the Boston College 48-yard line. 4:10 to go in the game. Before I forget, I want to thank Tom Burke of Boston College for his outstanding work in the booth with statistics and spotting, and Dwight Johnson of Auburn for their help, and the sports information directors. We'll mention them in a moment. Bo Jackson carries, goes to the 46-yard line. Reed Oslin of Boston College. Dave Housel, a good friend from Auburn, who's treated us well every time we've seen him.
Oh, yes. Fine man. I'll tell you, these guys, it's a tough job for PR guys because there's so much that they can say and so much that they can't say. And both of these men have helped us so much in this game. And we can't do it without them.
And Pat Dye has changed quarterbacks. Mike Mann has come into the game. Big hand for Randy Campbell, coming off with 3:25 to go in the game. Campbell with a pitch back. And Collis Campbell, number 38, no relation, carries the football to the 41-yard line. Coming up next, here on ESPN, stay tuned for SportsCenter. Sal Marciano and George Grand standing by to fill you in on everything happening in the world of sports today. Less than 3 minutes to go in the game. Man with a pitch back. And Allen Evans is tripped up on the play. Dave Pereira, the strong safety, coming up to make the stop. Great work by the offensive line. Bishop Reeves, the center, number 65. Dave Jordan, the left guard. Tracy Turner, the right guard. Actually, Randy Stokes, a freshman, played at right guard. Pat Arrington, the tackle. Jay Jacobs, Steve Wallace, a freshman tackle. This is a good-looking football team. The Auburn Tigers, they'll be forced to be reckoned with next year in the SEC. They were 4-2 this year in the Southeastern Conference. There's timeout on the field. 2 minutes, 37 seconds to go in the game. Auburn leading it 33-18. We'll be back in just a moment. Second punt of the game for Auburn, and our Vitalis MVP of the game is quarterback number 14 for Auburn, Randy Campbell. And there is Lewis Colbert in punt formation. Gerard Phelan is deep for Boston College. Colbert gets it away. Phelan waits for the fair catch and has got it at the 15-yard line. He wants a call for interference on the fair catch.
They got it.
All right. That'll tack on some yardage for Boston College. 2:29 to go in the game. Boston College took the opening kickoff of the game, marched 79 yards for a touchdown, and led 7-0. And since then, it's been all Auburn.
Drinker's the man. Now, even though he doesn't really touch him, the man's waved for a fair catch. You cannot get near him. He just slid off his back, barely hit him, but you've got to get away from the man when he signals for a fair catch.
And they tack on 15 yards. There's our Vitalis MVP, Randy Campbell. The junior from Hartselle, Alabama, had a great game. Flutie on first down, over the middle, incomplete. Intended for Brian Brennan, number 13.
Sam, Auburn took out their first offense, but they didn't take out their first defense. They're sticking with it.
Auburn Tigers have played a good football game here. And will finish off a very, very successful season for Pat Dye. This will be their 9th win of the year. For Boston College, they will wind up 8-3-1. 2:24 to go in the game, but let's not count out Boston College yet. Flutie has pulled off some miracles. Campbell 10 for 16, 176 yards. Flutie on second down. Look at all the time. Short over the middle of Phelan. Falls forward to the 38. He's short of a first down. It'll be 3rd and 2 coming up. Greg Carr, the fine left linebacker, made the stop. There's Boston College with the hurry-up offense here.
You know why statistics don't really make a whole lot of difference except for the score? They're 19-19 as far as first downs are concerned in this game.
This is Flutie turning the left corner, looking for the first down. He's got it. He's out of bounds at about the 42-yard line. Clock is stopped with 1:50 to go. Doug Flutie. And there's a guy you'll be hearing a lot about the next 2 years, just a sophomore. Doug Flutie has already set the career passing record at Boston College. An outstanding athlete, 18 for 34, 231 yards today. He's had 2 intercepted. And Jack Belcher, number 62, the center, leads them to the line. 3 intercepted. Well, I know we question on that one that that Carr took out of the hands of Brennan, whether that's intercepted or a fumble, but
we'll give him an
here's
interception.
Flutie coming up, 40, 45, gets to midfield where he's buried, short of a first down.
I'll tell you one thing, Sam. If he makes it to a senior year, he may set college career records. But at 5'10", what's he, 170 pounds, 180 pounds? 170 pounds, he may not make it.
Flutie fakes the draw, looking deep, goes over the middle. It's complete to Brennan at the 33, and lost the football as he was fighting for more yardage, and David King recovers for Auburn. Well, Brian Brennan was giving it the extra effort, trying to push forward for a couple of more yards, and the ball popped free, and David King has got it.
Dorminey and Collier, they spring it, and I think it's Collier, number 47, that rips the ball away because he's not on the ground. Watch this. No, it isn't. It's Dorminey. Number 46 is the guy that rips the ball away. They were both there. Here comes King. Gets the fumble. It's all over but the shouting. 1:15.
Well, a good Boston College team led by that man, Jack Bicknell. They will be back next year, led by Doug Flutie. But this Auburn team, very, very impressive. Will win the Tangerine Bowl. Pat Washington is in at quarterback. And the pitch back to Collis Campbell. And Campbell with a nice run. Falls forward across midfield. I want to thank our statistician, Steve Zirkelen, tonight. And the help of everyone, making this a very, very successful Tangerine Bowl. A sellout crowd, over 51,000. And the teams that they had here, a good matchup, and put on an exciting football game.
You know, it's impressive. You take a look at Auburn. Now, all right, it's only the last 2 series of downs, but they've got their substitutes, their second, third, fourth teamers in this game. Because Pat Dye is going to get everybody a chance to play in a bowl game. But they don't, if you watch them, they don't lose anything. Their precision is there. They don't make mistakes. They're a very disciplined football team.
Washington dropped the football. Okay. Now, Washington hasn't practiced. I think he spent most of the week at Disney World. Less than a minute to go.
Boy, I sounded so good doing it so well, Pat. I'm sorry. As soon as you do something like that, then Pat Washington drops the football. He's a freshman, 6'2", 199 pounds, from Mobile, where I'll be for the Senior Bowl.
Boston College calls timeout with 51 seconds to go. Boston College winding up the season with an 8-3-1 record. Losses to Penn State, West Virginia, and now to Auburn. Tied Clemson. What a good season for Jack Bicknell and the Boston College Eagles. And of course, Auburn with a 9-3 mark overall. Their losses to Nebraska, to Georgia by just 5 points, and to Florida by just 2.
You see them execute, you wonder how they lose.
The best college basketball schedule ever comes up with Wednesday night doubleheader, December 22nd, live DePaul at Purdue at 8 o'clock Eastern, followed by Minnesota Jacksonville, 10 o'clock Eastern time. 51 seconds to go in the game. This is 2nd and 10. Washington lost the football. Boston College recovers the fumble. The second turnover of the game for Auburn. And again, this is the third string offense. Third string quarterback Pat Washington fumbling, and strong safety Dave Pereira with the recovery. Well, it's just a matter of 46 seconds now. And Doug Flutie's still in there.
And they're going with their basic up front, Auburn, with their starting defensive line.
There is timeout on the field. We still have 46 seconds to play. We'll be back at the Tangerine Bowl in just a... Well, Jack Bicknell, Doug Flutie, and Boston College have not given up on miracles. They believe in miracles with 46 seconds to go. Flutie stays in there. The ball at midfield. Boston College trailing 33-18. And Flutie will look for the home run. Sends 4 receivers deep. Goes short over the middle of Brennan at the 40. Again, he's fighting forward. 3 men take him down. Clock is stopped at the 40-yard line as they will move the chains. It's a first down. Boston College with a hurry-up offense. Sets it up without a huddle. 38 seconds to go. Ball at the 39-yard line. Flutie right back. Fakes the draw. I don't know why you're doing play action now. Over the middle for Phelan at the 20. Phelan to the 14-yard line. Gerard Phelan making the reception. He's a sophomore. 27 seconds to go.
Flutie is telling his people, get up on the line of scrimmage.
Timeout Boston College.
That's their last one, according to that scoreboard, Sam. And this Flutie is just unbelievable. Here comes the number 1 defense back.
The serious defense. I think a lot of those guys had taken the tape off, or just about were ready to take it off, figuring the game was over. But the fumble, Boston College one more try to drive it down the field.
Sam, stranger things have happened, you know. You got 27 seconds. You hit on this play. It takes it down to 20 seconds. You got an onside kick. There he goes. Take a look at Flutie. This young man has got, first of all, he's got an awful lot of guts, number 1. And he's 287 yards passing so far in this game. But just take a look at this shot here. And here, watch number 97 come into the picture. Ballou, is that him? Did he come in late?
Yep.
Yeah, a little bit late.
Hi, girls. There you go. Orange, the color down here in the Tangerine Bowl. Ball at the 14-yard line. Phelan wide to the right. Brennan wide to the left. Nice look, the tight end right. 1st and 10, and Flutie looking to the right side. Phelan was tied up. Flutie is buried at the 16-yard line.
That's why they put the defense, the first team back in, and they have no timeouts. They can't stop the clock. They want to get another play. 14 seconds, 13 and counting.
Down to 10. Pat Dye checking it out. Still has a worried look on his face. Last play of the game. Flutie looking, running, still has it, throws. It's a touchdown for Boston College. Pat Dye is saying get off the field. The game is over. The fans are all over the field. Some of the players are out there. The touchdown caught by Brian Brennan.
Now, what do they do? They do get a chance to kick the extra point or go for two. Will they do that with all these people on the field?
It really doesn't mean anything. The game is over. There's Pat Dye just waiting for the official signal to say it's all over. The score right now is 33-24.
Sam, it means something if you gave 8 points. Think about that one. Think about that one for a second. But I'll just tell you ahead of time.
Right. It was 6.5.
6.5 was the spread on this game, and Auburn was favored by 6.5, so it's not going to make any difference. Watch Flutie. Everybody kind of quit because they saw you'll see the people coming on the field from the backside.
It's the biggest pass rush.
Right. Flutie's running around. The pass rush is coming from the backside on Flutie. I don't see. Well, you can't see it right there, but the place was filled with people, and he just popped the ball over the middle and said, "Okay, thank you. I'll take a touchdown. Nobody's bothering anybody." Brennan is in the end zone for a touchdown. They got all these people on the field. At Boston College, they want to go for their extra point.
All right, we are waiting. We still see players out on the field, and the officials are waving the fans off. They will go for the extra points. No time remaining on the clock. Doug Flutie, 22 for 38, 304 yards, 2 touchdown passes. 1 to Nizilik and 1 here to Brian Brennan.
2 interceptions and a half.
And a half, right? The takeaway.
That is, we haven't really gotten an official ruling on that interception by Carr. I think it has to be an interception because Brennan never had control of the football.
Yeah.
And the ball was hit in his hands, was dropping down, and Carr took the ball away from him, so it has to go as an interception. Oh, they got the field cleared.
Good fans.
Now if they get the parking lot cleared.
Okay. Flutie looking to the sidelines. All right, everything set. No time on the clock. Auburn leading 33-24. But quite frankly, it hasn't been that close. Auburn has dominated the game after Boston College scored on the opening possession, driving 79 yards for a touchdown, led 7-0. Auburn took control of the game from there and led 23-10 at halftime, 33-10 at the end of 3 quarters. Boston College has put 2 touchdowns on the board in the 4th quarter.
Flutie ought to think about running this ball, Sam, once he gets back to set up.
There he goes.
There he goes.
And he's going to make it. 2 points. And the spike for Flutie, but it is all in vain as Auburn has capped off a tremendous season. The Tigers come to Orlando and win the Tangerine Bowl, defeating Boston College 33-26. We'll be back in just a moment. Auburn wins the Tangerine Bowl 33-26. The final score not indicative of the domination of Auburn. Paul McGuire, the key to the game.
Key to the game was the offensive line of Auburn, #1, and the defensive line that did a great job when they had to against Flutie.
Okay, good rushing game for Bo Jackson, 75 yards. For Lionel James, 103. Randy Campbell, our Vitalis MVP, 10 completions out of 16, 176 yards. Auburn wins it 33-26. For Paul McGuire, this is Sam Rosen. So long, everyone.